Hey everyone, welcome back to the Keep Watching podcast, where we decide what to watch so you don't have to. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James.
And today we're going to be talking about Transit Love 2 episode 15. We're back at it, James, after a while.
Yes.
How's it feel?
Yeah, I didn't realize that we stopped watching the show right before a 3-hour episode.
Oh yeah, that was a surprise.
My God. It was literally a Marvel movie without the action and excitement and
way more sad times too.
Oh my God. Yeah. But I'm doing good, Sarah. How are you doing?
I'm doing good as well. Just trying not to play Baldur's Gate all the time. That's it. So, an exciting thing happens. We got another review on Apple Podcasts. You know how pumped I am about that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from Emma, who says, I'm very happy that I found this fun and light podcast. I started listening to them on their Singles Inferno 2 recap. Now I listen to all their podcasts and looking forward to every week.
Awesome.
So thank you, Emma. That's so sweet. I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's probably the path for the majority of our listeners, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
I think we got a small spike in viewers after covering Singles Inferno 2. So I hope everybody's excited for Singles Inferno 3. Which we do we still not have a date on Singles Inferno 3? I don't think.
No, I don't think.
We'll be giving weekly updates on.
It'll be like, is there a date? I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, look, I'm just gonna click on Netflix. Oh, it's official. Another season is coming.
Well, that's good to know.
No date. Okay. We're still assuming December, but yeah, we'll see. Awesome, thank you, Emma. We got comments on the finale of Heart Single.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for all the comments on that. Interregum did mention that, or I actually haven't gotten around to watching the reunion yet. Have you watched it yet?
Neither have I. No.
Oh yeah, well, Interregum let us know that. So this is actually kind of weird. Like the last episode 16 of Heart Single 4,
mm-hmm.
is like renamed like the After Signal because it's like a reunion episode. But then there's also going to be like 5 more After Signal episodes.
That seems like a lot of reunion.
It is. Well, it must get more into not just like a reunion, but it's like actually following them after. They must have allowed them to like film their lives for like from whenever they stopped filming the show until the finale of the show.
Interesting. So they're gonna try to convince me that this Mingyu Ji-soo thing is a couple that makes sense. Okay.
Well, I think we're gonna get that because I'm assuming they're still together. I don't know about Gao-rae and Ji-young, but you might just get to see like what they're doing in their lives outside of romance as well. And then maybe they're like meeting. They might just be like meeting up at locations and visiting each other, regardless of how they ended the show. So it could be interesting. I don't know if it's worth. I don't think we'll do like each episode of it, but I could see us watching all of it once it's out because I think they're still coming out with like one a week. Mm-hmm. So like 5 weeks from now or 6 weeks from now, when it's all out, maybe we'll watch all of it and then we'll just do a like one podcast talking about the whole thing, just in like the moments that we like from it, not like a play-by-play, but I think that'll be fun to do, especially with Sarah being the super skeptical person that never thinks any of the relationships work out after these shows. Maybe we'll see. Well, she'll either get proven right or wrong. Well, it doesn't really. It's not going to prove anything from one show, nor is it going to prove anything by like. It's only been what, like, actually, didn't we say this show ended in like early April or something?
Yeah, early April.
So like April, May, June. It's been a while since they stopped filming the show, so I don't know how long the After Signal will go into.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd be somewhat impressed if a couple made it this far, right? Or no?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But still, I would probably still hold on to my skepticism as to why anybody came on the show, because maybe you come on the show just to be on TV and accidentally do fall for somebody. That's a potential thing that could happen.
For sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we can actually get into that later because Wanbin has a comment in this episode, which we can talk about. Maybe like we can talk
motivation,
about the types of people that come on these shows.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah, lots to look forward to. in the Korean dating, at least in the amount of Korean dating TV that we're about to cover. It feels like a long list of things that we still have to get to. All right. You want to get into the transit love episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Sarah, here's the big question.
Uh-huh.
Where did we leave off in episode 14 of this show?
I actually remembered to look this up because I turned on this episode and went, what is this show? It's been a while. Okay, so we have Tae and the new girl, Na-eon, went on a pretty decent date.
Not okay,
not
Na-yeon.
I forgot. This was tricky. Okay, Na-yeon did a side hug to Tae and everyone lost their shit.
Well, Ji-soo lost her shit and then made everybody else lose their shit. Or she allowed Ji-young to overhear her talking to Na-yeon about it, and then it kind of exploded because Ji-young
and then
only
she
got
told
like part of the story.
Yeah, and then Heui-du.
God, I remember how much I hated all of that. It was like,
yeah, so there was a big Na-yeon Heui-du fight. But everybody's going to Jeju Island, it seems like, for the rest of the show, and they had to like pick somebody for the travel day date, and that's what we're about to go into. Travel into Jeju Island and dates.
Okay. Yeah. My recap was, the Ji-soo, or my remembering of the episode was the Ji-soo stuff with Na-yeon and how that exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just wrote, Heui-du and Na-yeon continue to be annoying and make no sense.
Yes.
And then Wonbin is trying to get back with Ji-soo, but Ji-soo doesn't seem interested. That was definitely a storyline that we'll get into.
That was a bummer that I didn't want to remember.
And then so the Jeju Island dates are Na-eon and Tae, Heui-du and Na-yeon, Wonbin and Ji-soo, and then the leftovers are Gyumin, Haeun, and Ji-young, and they'll be together. Which
Haeun was so pumped for.
Yeah, Haeun gets like a date not date with Gyumin, and then maybe a new guy is coming since we still have more women than men on the show.
Yep.
And we don't know who Na-eon's ex is. And then
Correct.
Also one of the side things was that Jiyeon, she really thinks that Tae is going with Na-yeon on the Jeju Island date.
Oh, yeah. Which caused her to have a bit of a meltdown.
And she's super upset about it, especially with the context of the hug and how that exploded. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she will not listen to reason. I think Ji-soo is like, he's definitely going with Na-eon, not Na-yeon. And she would not listen at all.
Yeah. And I still think a little bit of that had to do with the fact that Heui-du did not pick her for this date. And so she has all this extra time to focus on other nonsense. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we got it. We remember it. I feel good about it. All right. All right. Episode 15. Again, why is this episode 3 hours long?
Because we have a bunch of dates and then some other stuff happens.
Yeah. The episode definitely could have been edited down. There were many points in this episode that I was like, this is not a moment that usually makes the edit of any show.
Yeah.
I guess they had to fill a time slot. My guess is like they signed up for like an extended time slot or something, because like this is the Jeju Island episode. And it's going to be the episode where they reveal the
Exes.
Exes. So like theoretically, this should be a really good episode. It's like we're getting Jeju Island dates, which should be like some of the best dates of the season. And then they're also revealing the Exes, which is like, it is a big moment in the show, but it's like a little bit redundant for the audience the way that they choose to do it, because they're basically going to like show, you get a little bit more footage, but they're basically going to show like, they show everybody in the house, each person's conversation with their ex before the game started in like that coffee shop.
Yeah, which we've already seen as they revealed the Exes to us.
We've seen probably like 80% of the content from those. And there's a little bit of new stuff, but yeah. And so for me, the first 2.5 hours of this 3-hour episode were pretty rough to get through. And then it got good again with the last 30 minutes. So
that's true. Yep.
Because we're going to get to meet Na-eon's ex finally.
Yes.
And that is when I think the episode got good.
Although we did not get the traditional eras there. Like, we didn't get to see their meetup footage or the story behind them. Probably because the episode was already too long. But...
Oh yeah, that is weird. Well, see, there's some... They did show, when we get to it, like they showed Na-eon entering the coffee shop, but then we never saw Hyung-kyu is her ex. We
Mm-hmm.
never saw him go into the coffee shop and talk to her.
Yeah, because he entered the room and interrupted the video, basically.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how they showed it.
Did they really not get to see it? Like, that would have been the most interesting conversation to hear.
Yeah, I would think so.
Hmm.
But that might just be an editing thing. They might have showed it to them and then just edited it out because they want to like properly show it to us next episode.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm still like skeptical that Haeun was like planned to be on the show from the beginning. Like these guys were like alternates, and like maybe they filmed Haeun going into the coffee shop, but then she never actually met her ex there because that was like something.
You mean Na-eon?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they showed Na-eon going into the coffee shop, but then she never actually met her ex there, and that's why they didn't have footage of it. Like,
no, I think we're gonna see it next episode.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
because they got to take the whole time to do all the like production interviews with them where they talk about why they broke up and all the random photos from their past, like, and that was just gonna be too much for this episode.
Oh, wait. So what else? What else did it? But you mean to explain to the audience or explain to the other contestants?
To us, the audience. Because when they revealed the exes to us over the course of the rest of the show, we got the video of them meeting up and talking. We also got them talking individually to production about how they started dating, how their relationship was, how they broke up, all that stuff.
And you think it needs to be done in the same order?
I think they're going to do that, but they're just going to do that next episode.
Okay, we'll see.
And then I think that's why they didn't show us that video
that in the preview?
now.
Is it what? Why are you saying it's the next episode? Okay.
Because they just didn't do it this episode, and why would we not get the story of these two people like we got the story of everybody else?
Okay. Are you saying specifically next episode or just in the future?
I mean, I would hope it would be next episode. There's no reason to wait because now we know that they're exes, right? So they should just tell us right away.
That's true. Okay. Well, we'll see how they do it. It seemed weird to me that they could have just shown their coffee shop conversation and then still showed us other stuff later.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Okay. But yeah, a lot of this episode is just going to be sad and depressing.
Yep. Terrible dates.
Like the only
just bad dates.
The only good date is Tae and Na-eon, and
we barely see any of that.
We get the least amount of footage from their date.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't as good as we thought it was, or I don't know. Maybe there was footage and it wasn't particularly interesting footage. I don't know.
I thought they were cute together.
They were cute together, but there wasn't like anything to talk about other than like, oh yeah, they're cute together. And they're very teasy with each other.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay.
So what's you mentioned how you want to go through this. How do you want to go through this?
We're gonna do the dates from best date to worst date.
Best date to worst date.
So
based on your opinion or what?
Yeah, my opinion.
Okay. All right. Okay. Whatever you want to do. I'm here.
Okay.
All right.
And also, it conveniently lines up with the order in which they arrive to the house at the end. So it just works.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
So first we got Tae and Na-eon. They are leaving together in the morning to go get on a flight for Jeju Island.
Yeah. They meet at like a cafe, right? Like
yes.
two of the couples like meet in a cafe and then two meet in like a park.
Yeah.
This is it feels like a very long day. Like they're like, it feels like they're going to wake up early, go to a location to meet their person instead of like already being together at the house. And then they have to go from that location to the airport, and then they have to take an airport and then an airplane.
And then they have to go on a whole date after that.
And then when they get there, they have to like get in the car, go to a place, and then they end up going to like multiple places for their dates, and then they eventually get back to the new house on Jeju Island that they're going to be staying at. And it's not even that late when they get to the house. It's like 8 p.m. or something. Like they really did a lot on this day, it felt like.
Yeah.
Maybe it's probably not that long of a flight to get to Jeju Island, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a long flight.
It just seemed like a lot to be doing in one day. But also we get this flashback of apparently the guys that girls agreed to go on dates with to Jeju Island got a text.
So everybody except for Gyumin.
Yeah, everybody except for Gyumin. We're told like they have to go buy couple gifts, which at first I wrote as like a couple gifts. And then I was like, a couple, why do they have to get a couple gifts?
No, couple as in like matching gifts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it still didn't like click in my head until like the third gift, and I was like, oh, they're all couple gifts. So for some reason, the guys have to do this.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that like last episode, at the very end, we get Heui-du and Na-yeon fighting, and he was like, "I regret ever picking you. This is gonna be terrible." And then like 20 minutes later, he gets a text like, "Go buy that woman a gift." He's like, "Fuck." Just amusing to me.
Yeah. All right. So I think the couple gift thing is weird, and it's like it feels so forced because it's just to like get it like ties into a segment of the audio that they're gonna show the contestants when they like right before they reveal the things. But it's like it doesn't have to be in the show at all. It's nothing, right? Like, am I crazy?
No, but I do think Tae buying Nine a motorcycle helmet is cute.
Yeah, that is good. Because like that's not really a couple gift. Like the ones that he do,
like it doesn't match his helmet or anything, but
Yeah.
it's just like then she will have a helmet for my motorcycle.
like it's an actual meaningful gift from Tae because he's like, I own a motorcycle and I want you to ride on the motorcycle with me, and you need a helmet to do that. So yeah, but he doesn't buy himself a new helmet because he already has one. But like,
yeah, exactly.
All the other two guys are like buying two of the same
matching
thing so that they can have like so
which is more of what a couple gift is.
Tae, I guess so, but I like what Tae did better.
Yeah.
What do you have from Tae and Na-eon? The bike helmet. We got the bike helmet.
It just happened to match the outfit she wore that day, so everyone's excited about it.
It always feels like that happens on this show. I think Wanbin and Ji-soo have the same moment. And is it like they actually really match, or it's like you can like force things to look like they match in your head if you want it to happen?
I think there can be some of that, but like this was literally like a tan helmet that matched her like shirt or sweater or something. Like it actually went with the
varying degrees
color
of tan, but okay.
Well, yeah, and it is kind of an easier color to match with other things, but
all right.
And like with Wanbin and Ji-soo, it's like it was a tan bag and a black bag, which are just like the things that are gonna match stuff. So
yeah,
it's a little easier there.
Wasn't like Heui-du and Na-yeon's also like something? Oh yeah, he got her like. Oh no, Wanbin's was he got her a journal. He got her a journal that was like matched. Orange, which was what color she was wearing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Seems crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, they quickly agree to drop honorifics, which is good for them getting.
Oh, they were
closer.
still using honorifics.
Yeah, and they make a point to drop it. There is a very silly thing that happens. Like they get in a taxi to go to the airport, and Tae's holding a camera up to film them because he has to, because there's no room for a camera person in this car.
Oh, I see.
And they're like angling it and talking about the angle. And he says some shit where he's like, you may not have the best face, but you need the best angle. And then there's this awkward silence. And you can see him looking at her, like waiting for her to snark back, but she never did.
Yeah, it's like
and then he never fixed it. And it was so awkward.
It's like he thinks like she knows that he likes to just tease, but like, I don't know, insulting somebody's face seems like a step too far.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume he fixed it and it just didn't make the edit because dang, that's some shit to say to somebody.
I mean, I don't know if anything needed to be fixed. It was just like her response. Like she knows it was a tease, I think. So I don't know. I don't think he had to like make up with her or anything after it. It was just like,
or just like
she did not
get
engage
her to
in that
acknowledge the bit. Yeah.
Na-eon says she is scared about riding a bike, but she's going to.
True.
Also, I think I was like really into Na-eon, right? When we were talking about when she like appeared on the show, I was like, this is the best game changer they've ever had, or something.
Yeah.
But I think at one point I was like, if she's vegan, then I'm like, this is the best character they ever had. She's definitely not vegan. We find that out in this episode. But I still really like Na-eon.
Yeah.
She has not disappointed me yet.
And I'm also just happy that somebody likes Tae like that. Also, just like brings me joy. Been too long.
Yeah, I do like it. Yeah, Well, I don't know. I don't think I would care about it as much if there were other good relationships in the show, but it's literally the only thing that's good right now.
That is also true. Yeah, yeah. Everything else is a dumpster fire.
It really feels like Tae has found the right person to do like that can like mirror his personality or at least understand his personality, which I do think Tae isn't somebody that's easy to understand. I don't know. Like he like Tae instantly is just going to rub certain people the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just
yeah, like I don't think he's a jerk or anything. I think he's just like has a particular style that is not everybody's.
But some people are definitely going to think he's a jerk.
Like, yeah.
When they meet him. But it's all right, you know? That's how you weed out the types of personalities that you don't want to date.
Yeah.
You just basically just act like yourself, and then if people don't like you, you just move on to the next person. That's basically the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good strategy here. Yeah, they're still teasy and super fun with each other on their way during their travels to Jeju Island. And then you want to go right to Jeju, just do their whole
do their whole
thing.
Their whole
all
deal.
Right. What I have is
so yeah.
Yes, they're in the car going to their first location on Jeju, and Na-eon is just exhausted, so she falls asleep again in the car.
Yep. I think there's a moment where she like leans the seat back, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna do it again, huh? You're just gonna fall asleep." She's like, "No, I'm not." And then cut to she's just completely asleep. I think there's a part where he looks over at her and her hair is just like all over her face because she's like that asleep that she's a mess now.
Yeah,
and
it's super cute though. Like
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like Tae's definitely not bothered by it, and I don't think I would be bothered by it either. But like
yeah.
But I don't know. I think some people would be offended by it. Heui-du probably would.
I think
be like, that's bad manners.
Yeah, well, Heui-du.
Heui-du's
so
terrible.
I would think that most people like understand like their schedule is probably crazy right now. They're probably always all exhausted. So like you can't begrudge her a little nap when she can get one.
Yeah. I mean like it is like a little unfair because like I think at this point Tae is actually driving the car. So it's like Tae
he
doesn't
can't
have
also
the option
nap.
to sleep. Yeah. But you know, he gets to be the cool guy who stays up and drives. I think that's valuable. Exactly. That's valuable. All right. Yeah.
They go for a meal.
They go to a restaurant. They are cute, for sure.
He tells her she's cute. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, I don't think there's like a lot to talk about with their date, but they are actually fun to watch, which is refreshing on the show.
Yeah, they are fun to watch. I believe that they enjoy each other's company, and Tae even says he's happy. Which, like, this man has literally never been happy before. This has to be the best fucking date that's ever happened, right?
Yeah. He said something about being happy with Na-yeon on their date, I think. But this feels a little more serious. Like,
yeah.
He would consider this himself. I think he would remember this happiness.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't work out with Na-eon, I think he would remember this happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, first time in his life being happy. Yeah, that's the only thing I wrote down from their restaurant.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're cute. He's happy for once. Good date.
Everybody at some point has a scene where they take photos somewhere with their couples gifts because production's going to use that later. So they have like a scene on the beach where they take pictures with the helmets. But that's it. That's like all we get from them.
Not quite.
Oh, it's
because
not?
Then they go on his motorcycle.
They do go on his motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cute because he puts her helmet on her for her, and like when they get on the motorcycle, she's like not sure where to be or how to position herself, and he just like takes her arms and wraps them around him.
Oh yeah, you get the waist grab, yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's the only way to ride it, right? Like that.
Well, yeah. Which like he's being very practical about it, but it's also like cute.
Yeah, that's right. And she's
then
pretty scared.
They take off and drive around. Yeah. And so as she gets more scared, you can see her like clinging tighter. And yeah.
Every time Tae like does a little bit of a turn, I think that would be scary, especially if you're not the one controlling the steering. I think that would be
and if it's your first time on, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sarah, have you ever been or want to be on a motorcycle?
No, because I know people who have been in terrible motorcycle accidents.
You know people,
and so no, thank you.
Yeah. I could see it being fun, but like I don't think it's like so fun that the risks or the reward outweighs the risk. So yeah, I'm out on the motorcycle.
I did spend a long time in my teenage years wanting a Vespa, which is not quite as intense as a motorcycle. It's more of a scooter situation,
Like
but
its top speed isn't
still,
as.
yeah. But you still are exposed to the traffic if somebody else runs into you. It's the same effect, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm out on the motorcycle, but
But they looked like they had a really good
but
time.
if
So
you're on the show and you're on a date with Tae, you get it on the motorcycle.
yeah, yeah, I'm getting on the motorcycle.
Oh shit! And how would you feel about him doing extra little turns just to freak you out?
Well, he
Flirty
didn't seem like he was
or
taking them particularly like fast or
oh
anything,
yeah.
so it would be like
No,
he
but
wasn't
from your
overdoing
perspective
it.
though, it would probably be terrifying though. That's what I
Yeah,
think. I think it
it
would be
would
pretty
be.
terrifying, but
Yeah,
to not be in control, my god.
yeah. I think if he tried to do anything particularly like tricky or felt too dangerous, then I'd be like, all right, we have to stop. I am walking to the next. We're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
But I'd give it a go.
Do you think it's a good sign or a bad sign that we didn't see more from them, considering this is a 3-hour episode?
I think it's a good sign because the editors of this show are obsessed with making people sad and showing the sad people and the
Okay.
dysfunctional people. So it's probably good. Like the less we see of them, the better for their real lives,
Okay.
as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Yeah, that might actually be the right read. I thought it was maybe not a good sign. Like I thought Na-eon was gonna like maybe switch right over to her ex when he comes. But maybe it's a good thing if they're not showing a lot of you, because then it's like, oh, you're gonna like each other, and the show doesn't think that's interesting, so or something. Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
might be right.
exactly.
Hopefully, you're right. They do end up texting each other at
Yeah.
the end of this, even after the Na-eon's ex shows up. So I have my fingers crossed that this will actually be a thing.
Yeah, I really hope so.
All right. That's it from these two, right?
Yeah.
All right.
On to our second best date, which is not even a date. It's the leftover threesome of Human,
Okay.
Ji-young, and
All right.
Heun.
That's the second best date. Okay.
You know it's bad news when this is the second best date.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That is actually true. I think I'm gonna have a little bit of a difference of opinion on what the worst date was, but yeah, this is the second best date.
Okay. Yeah, so they all just awkwardly meet up, and it is awkward most of the time.
Actually, what I wrote down is like this actually started out pretty good, where they all seemed very comfortable. I think they also met at cafe, and they actually seemed comfortable,
Yeah.
and they were all talking like. Anytime Guman and Haeyeon you just are together, you assume it's gonna be awkward. But because Ji-young was there, it actually seemed like they were talking naturally, and it was gonna be a good time.
It did feel more like it was Guman and Ji-young talking, and Haeyeon also just kind of being there most of the time, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she contributes a little bit, but it does feel like when there is conversation she's mostly third wheeling it.
Okay. I guess definitely on the plane. Yeah. At some point, the date's gonna become more awkward, but like in the very beginning, it seemed like, oh, this might actually not be bad.
Yeah, yeah. Although Guman says some weird shit where he's like, Ji-young's wearing some sort of necklace, and he's like, oh man, I want that. And I'm like, what is up with this man trying to steal Ji-young's wardrobe? Like a couple episodes ago, he was like, I want those overalls.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know what's going on here. And then like they're talking about how like little things can like make a big difference in what a guy notices or something. And she's like, oh, well, then I'm going to wear it on Jeju Island. And he's like, well, then maybe I'll ask you out. And she gives him this big ass side eye and is like, I'm not going to wear it. And it was great. I loved it.
That's what she meant by that.
I'm pretty sure she was just like, nope.
I can't believe Guman is like fake flirting with a girl in front of Haeyeon. That was my reaction. Like
Can't you? Can't you, though? I'm pretty sure you could believe that one.
I mean, I can, but.
From him.
Yeah. I thought it was a little too much because I know he's not actually interested in Ji-young. It was just like,
yeah. But I do like how she is just brazen about like, no, dude, not gonna happen.
Okay, I didn't pick up on that, but okay. Ji-young actually proves to Guman that she texted him like 3 times. She's just like, look, I sent you 3 texts, and he's like, oh yeah, I did get those texts. I didn't even remember that Ji-young.
I completely forgot about that too.
Yeah, it was so long ago, but I did. There was definitely a stage of the game where Guman was getting a lot of texts.
Yeah, I think at the same time he was getting texts from Ji-soo.
I remember the Ji-soo stuff, but the Ji-young stuff I don't really remember. Okay, they're gonna get a taxi ride to the airport.
Yeah, apparently Ji-yeon had overheard Haeyeon crying in the house last night, so she's like asking her about that, and Haeun's trying not to say that she was crying because of Human. It is awkward, but also sweet how Ji-young is trying to like take care of her and be like, "Oh."
Was it just last night that Ji-young was aware of? Because I feel like at one point she was like, "Why do you cry so much?" Like just like in
I think
general.
yeah, she also said that. Yeah, yeah.
So I guess Haeun wasn't hiding it as much as I thought she might have been. And then Jian finally has like the revelation that, oh, Heui-du's ex must not be Haeun because
Yes, she puts it all together.
because Heui-du told me that he was between me, Ji-young, and his ex.
Hmm.
So she knows that he must be with his ex on
Yeah.
the Jeju Island date, and Haeun is not with him. So she finally puts it together.
Finally, Detective Ji-young figured it out.
Yeah, and then they take the plane, and then I guess this is this Ji-young being Ji-young, but she did seem like kind of flirty with Gyumin on the plane.
Yeah, they were like pretending to be a couple doing a vlog about their travels or
Oh,
something.
that's what it was.
They're like doing a bit.
I see.
And Haeun's just there.
Yeah, because the way they sat was like Ji-young was in the middle of Gyumin and Haeun.
Hmm.
And then at some point, Jian puts it together that Haeun and Gyumin must be exes, and then she like while on the plane, she like says to them like, "Oh, you two must be exes."
I
And
think
then,
Haeun's asleep actually, and she just like goes to
oh, she's
Gyumin and is
asleep.
like,
Okay, that's what it
"She's
was.
your ex, right?" And he's just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
She gives zero fucks about the rule.
I think this was the point in the date though that the date became awkward.
Mm.
And it was only because this pressure to not give away that your exes is like what made it awkward. I don't know. I felt like the date was going all right because, like, you're right. Like maybe it was just more of Ji-young and Gyumin. At least we're gonna like make the date fun. But once Ji-young brings up that Haeun is his ex, he kind of like shuts down. I feel like, and then the rest of the date is just like Ji-young complaining about why nobody's talking on the date.
Yeah, and it's like they get in their car after the flight and they're speculating about where they're gonna sleep tonight, like if they're gonna be in the same house or whatever. And Haeun's like, maybe we'll all be in the same room. And Ji-young's like, oh, you guys used to date, right? Like, I'm out. I'm not like gonna be in the same room with you guys.
Yeah. And then Haeun
and then she
shuts down
doesn't
after
understand.
That.
Yeah, she does not understand why they're so quiet for the rest of the drive.
Yeah. Because Jian has this like I feel like her perspective with Tae is totally different than other people's perspective because like she isn't as like she's weird about Tae, but I think when Tae's around, she's not as awkward because like their dating history is like they only dated for like less than a year, and it seemed like it was mostly positive, and then at some point they started fighting, and then they just stopped dating each other.
Yeah,
but like she doesn't understand that Hae and Gyumin like dated for 7 years. And like
yeah,
so
their
like,
shit was
like
invested and traumatic.
Like I feel like she feels like even though she's bringing up that they used to date each other, like they should be able to like converse and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jiang doesn't give a shit about breaking production rules, and they probably 100%. Do care about breaking production rules. So yeah, I think this could have been a lot better if Jiyoung never brought it up, but it's still the second best date.
Still the second best date.
Yeah, when Jiyoung brings up if they're exes again in the car, I was like, do we really need to lie about this still? Like,
yeah.
Like they do get to it eventually at the end of this, but like I think this should have been revealed much earlier.
Yeah.
In the
I feel like most people have figured it all out by now, you know?
Yeah, most people have figured
when
it out.
You're at the point where Jiyeon has accepted the truth and figured it out. Then, you know, like it's too late.
I mean, I'm assuming this reveal time was correct, but like, is there a possibility that the storyline with Jiyeon not knowing was so good, they liked it so much that they just kept waiting for her to figure it out?
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, they go to a restaurant. Yeah, Jiyeon. Yeah, she's upset about the awkward silence. So, whatever. Sarah.
Yes.
Would you rather be with someone who expresses their love with words or with gifts?
Words. I like words.
This
words
is how
good.
This is how Jiyoung tries to make them talk.
Yeah.
Question. Yeah, I'm also words. Mostly because I'm anti-gifts, but
oh, me, it's mostly because I'm insecure and I need to be reinforced all the time that like okay. I'm not the worst person. Yeah,
I enjoy the words too. Yeah. But interesting enough, Haeun says words, and then Gyumin and Jiyoung say gifts because they think like actions are stronger than words. So yeah, I think I like Heian more than these two other people. This is a pretty powerful question. I feel like this might be a good like dating like profile question, honestly. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is something you kind of need to align on, you know. If you need to hear words, you can't date somebody who is incapable of expressing the words.
You could be somebody that likes to hear words but also likes to give gifts, I guess, but
yeah, but then you have to be with somebody who likes to receive gifts but can say words.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So like you don't have to want the same things, but you have to align up on the giving and receiving it, you know, like
yeah, that's true. Okay.
Or not, and you could just be Heui-du and Na-yeon, I guess, you know, whatever. You get to choose. Terrible choice. Don't do that.
Hey, they're having a good time. Maybe. I don't know. I can't tell.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I think at some point Ji-yeon's like, you know how married couples look alike?
Oh, this is like a thing in the whole episode. Like I because this comes up, I think it comes up on multiple of the dates, and then it's gonna come up when Na-eon's ex is revealed because they look alike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what is this? Is this just like a Korean thing, or
I don't think it's a Korean thing.
I've never heard this before.
No? I think I've heard this. Like you grow to look like the person you've been with for a long time. Or some people say like people look like their dogs. Like I think it's a similar sort of just like you spend enough time with somebody, you kind of start to look like each other.
But you grow to look like the person that you're with?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the thing.
I assumed it was like people ending up, like they end up marrying people that look like them.
That might also be
Which,
true.
like, that would make more sense, maybe? Like, it's like there's some sort of, like,
I think it's a little column A, a little column B. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is like I don't know. This came up multiple times that I've never heard anybody talk about this. So
okay.
All right. Yeah, they're also gonna go to a cafe, but nothing really happens, right? Anything else from this?
Yeah.
The leftover just people.
It is awkward. But fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Ultimately, it's just fine. There is a point though where Han like feels bad because Cuman's been driving them around all day, and she's like, "I can drive," and he just like starts shaking his head with big eyes, like he's scared of her driving or something. And I just feel like there's some story there, like maybe she's a terrible driver or something, or he's scared of her driving or something.
What it sounded like to me was that she didn't, when they started dating, she didn't have a driver's license. So he probably like, I don't know if he helped her or like there was a stage where she was getting her license. Because then she said something like, "Oh, I got my license so that I could drive my boyfriend or to impress my boyfriend," or something. She says,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she could be a totally fine driver now. But the human has like memories of her being bad at driving.
Yeah.
Because she was learning.
His reaction is just funny. Yeah.
All right. What's the third best, second worst date?
That's Heui-du and Na-yeon, as far as I'm concerned. I know you disagree.
Yeah, no, this is the worst date. This is the worst date because I'm done. I'm just done. I'm done. I'm not. I don't want to talk about these. We can go through what happened until I got to the point where I'm actually just done. But
okay,
these two are unwatchable.
But I find that I'm becoming like numb to it almost. I'm like, oh, they're gonna be shitty at each other. Okay, sure, whatever. Whereas I found the Wonbin Ji-soo date to be slightly more traumatic. You know, I felt worse about that because I wasn't expecting it to be so bad.
The Wonbin Ji-soo date is at least interesting because like I like respect them both as people.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
It's interesting to see like how their relationship has gotten to this point.
Yeah. But at the same time, because I enjoy them as people, it made me feel worse, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're sad now, you know?
Yeah. I don't think it made me
That's
sad
my criteria for worst date.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, well, let me shit on this date as we go through it.
Okay.
Heui-du and Na-yeon. I wrote down some stuff in the beginning. So Heui-du gets
matching sneakers.
Shoes. Yeah, they're like matching shoes, which is not a thing I would have thought of when I was told to get couples gifts.
If you were Korean, that would be a thing you would think of. That's a common
I actually
thing.
was thinking about this. I should have asked my wife before I got on for the podcast. But like, I don't think there's a single couples thing that we have. Like,
you don't have any matching stuff? Wait, but you're both sports fans. Do you not have any matching like jerseys from the same team or something that you'd wear if you no?
No. And we're not like
you don't like the same teams?
My wife and I my wife and I like technically aren't married, so we don't even have a ring together.
Well,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
nothing.
Okay.
I actually don't think we have anything.
You have a lovely life together. How about
we
that?
we
That's
do.
your couple's gift.
Like we have a very compatible lifestyle, but yeah, I couldn't think of like a single item. I'll have to ask her. Maybe there's something I'm forgetting, but
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you didn't like accidentally both like have something from the same sports team that you both like, because that could like,
but
whilst not bought as a
does
couple
that
gift, it would at least be a matching thing you could wear together.
would that even count? Like
Yeah,
there's
I
a
think
couple. Do couple
yeah.
things have to be like, hey, we bought these things to be couple things?
I mean, couples can go out and be like from their wardrobes they already have, be like, oh well, I'm gonna wear this color, you also wear that color, and what you have, and then we're matching together, and that can count as a couple's outfit at least, even if it wasn't bought with the intent
Oh,
of being a couple's thing.
I don't know if that qualifies for what they're going for in this show, but I see what you're
Well,
saying.
no, because they're specifically making them buy a gift. But Tae did buy a helmet for a motorcycle that he has. That like his existing helmet is part of the couple thing. You know.
Yeah, to me, that's not even a couple's gift. I mean, it is because it's like, oh, I want you to ride on my motorcycle with me, which is a very kind of like coupley thing.
Yeah,
But
but it
it's
doesn't
like
match. Yeah,
it's like practical too. So I guess I'm thinking more like sentimental kind of items that match, which I can't think of
yeah,
anything like that.
that's fair.
But okay, I'll try to remember to ask my wife and maybe give an update on that
Okay.
next episode. um, yeah, so they get
But yeah,
shoes.
so Heui-du buys these shoes. He gives them to her because he must. She starts to try them on, and he's like, I'm not wearing mine. Why would I do that? Which is a
Yeah,
little awkward.
yeah. What the fuck is happening?
And then, like, her shoes are a little too big for her. And she's like, I'll just wear them anyway. And he's just like, real bossy. And like, no, you got to get them exchanged. They're too big or whatever. And then she's like, okay, well, let's go exchange them. And he's like, nah, why would we do that? And he's like, you can do
No,
that on your own.
yeah, it's not
Like,
like
it's,
why would we do that? It's like why would I go with you to exchange
yeah.
a gift that I got for you? What the
And then she's
actual
like,
fuck is happening?
yeah, Heui-du is Heui-du. I don't know. And also probably still pissed at her from yesterday when they had the fight. And then he had to buy her this gift he didn't want to buy her. And then she's just like, well, then I won't wear them and I won't exchange them. Whatever. And they just fight about the shoes for a little while, you know? And
Yeah.
she's like, oh, do you not want to wear them because Jion may see them? And then in the end, they both wore the shoes. It's so dumb.
Yeah. I think at some point early on this show when we didn't have a full image of their relationship, I don't really remember the context of it, but I feel like at some point I might have at least spoke in defense of Heui-du a little bit. But like actually just fuck
Mm-hmm.
this guy. Like he's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking worst.
He is awful.
Like I still think like the story that we've got from Na-eon, like her inviting him on the show, and then she acted like she wasn't interested in getting back together at all, and she said as much to him. Like I think that's fucked
Mm-hmm.
up.
Yeah, she's not
Um,
innocent in this terrible relationship.
but at some point they got on the. I guess it was after the whatever room, the
The
whatever
the
the room
X
that
room.
the X
The
room. Yeah, after the X room, I feel like they kind of realized they were both into each other, but maybe Heui-du was hiding it. So it's like, I don't know. At this point, they're on a date with each other, and they both
mm-hmm.
agreed to do this. Like they picked each other,
Yeah.
so there shouldn't be any like second thoughts about like the intentions of the other person at this point.
Yeah, but they picked each other before he found out she half hugged somebody or something.
That's true, but fuck that whole thing as well. So
Yes.
at this point, though, like Na-yeon, I think is pretty fine throughout this whole date, but Heui-du just sucks. Like he's terrible. Like I can't emphasize enough how
Yeah.
much this guy sucks. He sucks so bad that I'm at some point I stopped taking notes and I refuse to talk about him anymore. And
Okay.
like I could have written down 100 things in this episode that Heui-du said that was just like, why did he say this? There's no reason to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just wants to be in
Yep.
an argument all the time, or he
Yep.
wants to scold
Yep.
somebody, or he
Yep.
just sucks.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. Don't like him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Going into the date, like Heui-du just tells us like he's in a bad mood for some reason. And is it? I guess it's the Tae hug thing. Like, is this what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the fight they had
In
the
the
night
confessional,
before.
he doesn't really give us the reason again.
Because he probably doesn't want to like think about it too closely, because if he thought about anything in their relationship too closely in a sensible way, it would not be a relationship ever again, right? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't tell you. I can't really tell you the mentality of either of these two people. I'll be honest.
That's
I'm
true.
usually like, that's
Yeah.
something fun I like to do, and I'm like, okay, this is how this person's thinking, blah blah blah. But nah, these two people are just unrelatable
Yep.
entirely.
Hmm.
Heui-du is still wearing Ji-young's bracelet on this date.
Yes. And Na-yeon notices and is like, take it off. And he's like, oh, I forgot to take it off.
No,
Oops.
Heui-du's immediate response to when she says take it off is, she's like, why? What?
Yeah, yeah.
Why that? Like, why does it matter? I don't even
Yeah.
understand why you would bring up this thing that you brought up with me before that I know you have an issue with. What? Like,
Yep.
why are you getting so emotional?
Oh, he sucks so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. It's like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. He also gets upset anytime Na-yeon talks about Ji-young. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that.
Doesn't like it at all. I think she's even then like, well, what if I wore my couple ring? And he's just like, I literally do not care. Whatever.
Yeah, but he totally cares.
He totally cares. But he can't let anyone know that he cares.
Yeah.
It's gross. I don't know.
Yeah. There's there's like a person on the current season of Big Brother US that's going on right now, and he, like, now that I'm thinking about it, he reminds me a lot of Heui-du. I just
Oh, really?
like,
oh, that sucks.
The way that they converse is like, it's not even like a romantic thing on Big Brother. It's just like, well, there are like some similarities between like being in an alliance on these strategy game shows and like being in a relationship. Kind of, there is a lot of similarities, I think, but like, they're both just people that are like, they get super upset with people, that get emotional, and then they're like, why are you getting so emotional? Like, I'm just telling you what to do and scolded you and said these things that you should have reactions to. Like, that any normal person would have reactions to. And then when somebody says something that bothers them, and like, either they get emotional and are like hypocritical, or they like try to be this like macho guy that doesn't have emotions, and they like say things that they don't actually feel. Like, oh yeah, it wouldn't bother me if you wore the couple's ring. But it totally would. Like, it's just bull 100%. Shit. It's just like,
absolutely.
My God, dude. All right, they go to a restaurant when they get to Jeju Island. At this point in my notes, Sarah, about blah blah blah. Who cares? I'm fucking done.
There was a cute dog.
Nope.
No?
Oh, you can talk about the dog if you want.
I mean, it was cute. She plays with the dog a little bit.
Okay. I'm actually like, I just get triggered watching them, which is why I hate this date. It's
okay. She does like ask why he picked her, and he says that they haven't had a chance to get together and talk. And I'm like, you're literally always talking. This is some bullshit.
Fuck it.
Just say what you really mean.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I'll get here.
There's more arguing. She does cry.
Again, there's 100 things we could talk about in this episode about Heui-du and interactions with Na-yeon. But I'll give you the summary of every single Heui-du Na-yeon interaction for the rest of the show. We don't have to talk about it anymore. Ready? Heui-du says something snarky to Na-yeon. Na-yeon gets annoyed. Heui-du gets annoyed that Na-yeon gets annoyed. Eventually, Heui-du acts nice for 1 second. Na-yeon falls in love with Heui-du again. That's the whole narrative from here until the end of time. We don't need to talk about 100%. It anymore. I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Yeah, that's fair. That is what happens in the rest of this date.
Not this date. I'm not talking about this date. I'm talking about
no, but I'm saying like episode, as a summary for the rest of this date,
the rest of this TV show, and the rest of eternity. We don't need to talk about them anymore.
I mean, except we will have to. We will have to acknowledge them.
We'll see, Sarah. You can try. We'll see what happens. All right.
Okay. All right.
Is there anything else you want to say about this date?
Nope,
we're done. All right.
Not really.
Moving on.
I mean, it is more of the same fight that they just keep having. So, there is a moment though when they arrive at the house, which maybe we didn't talk about arriving at the house with anybody yet, but
we'll save that and maybe won't talk about it in the future. All right.
Well, it's less of a them together thing and more of a Ji-yeon is involved thing. So,
that's fine.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see.
Okay.
All right. Wonbin and Ji-soo.
Okay.
They meet in a park.
They do. and he has bought them couples bags. But then in addition to that, he also bought her a gift of a journal and a fancy pen, because the other day when she was sad, he was talking about how, he writes in his journal and it helps him or whatever, and they were kind of bonding on that front. So it was thoughtful from that respect.
Also, I'm pretty sure Wanbin wasn't sure if he was supposed to get a couple's gift or a couple gifts.
I think he knew what he was supposed to do. He just went extra because he wants to get back with this woman.
I don't know. It was hard to know for sure what you were supposed to do. I actually wrote that it seemed like Ji-soo liked the gifts. We're going to find out later that Wanbin read it as she was not excited about the gifts, but from what I saw, I thought she was into
same.
gifts.
Yeah. But like, as soon as they leave this place, they go to get in a taxi to go to the airport, and she's just like, let's not put the camera on in the taxi. I don't want to do that. And then they show them on the plane, and she's falling asleep, and he's like, oh, you can lean on me. And she's like, nope. And like, just like she starts to pull away from the whole experience, it feels like.
Yeah.
From basically the start.
Yeah, I saw a small percentage chance to me that like Ji-soo might come back around, and maybe she like does like Wanbin, but she's just afraid she might hurt him again, is like kind of the vibe. But this is like, oh, she's avoiding any possible cute date situation with him because she does not even want him to think for a second that this could be a thing. Because she's very much getting the vibes that he is seeing this as a potential thing now.
Which is accurate.
Yeah, she's totally right. But like in the past, the reason she agreed to go on the date, it seems, is because they had this agreement that they would like text each other and like choose each other for dates if they had to, just to have a good time.
Well, friends. I think she didn't have a choice about this date. Like, he was the only person who picked her.
She might have not have had a choice, but also she might have been. I forget in the last episode.
It was what point last time she texted him. Last time they were texting somebody, because they did agree to like just text each other if they didn't have anybody else to text.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I don't know if she was onto his feelings had changed before this date, but I think from her perspective, like going into this date, it was just going to be a friend date.
Yeah,
but she quickly realizes that's not the case, and then she totally shuts down.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Wanbin is noticing it when she shuts down, so this is like heading towards disaster in terms of
and then he's like trying to fix it, and then she hates that more, and oof. But yeah, like, so they're in the car, and he's just like, hey, remember that time? And she's like, nope. And he's like, what about this? She's like, don't remember. And then she's like, let's listen to some music, like anything to avoid like actually engaging in, having anything that could be romantic,
Yeah. They go to a bunch of locations actually. It's mostly just a series of, like you said, Wanbin is trying to reminisce about their past and bring up memories, and then Ji-soo really doesn't want to talk about it. And at first I was like, at first it seemed to me like Wanbin was just like, Wanbin enjoyed talking about the past, but it wasn't necessarily like this sneaky attempt to like bring up emotions, or like, I don't know like what Ji-soo was thinking he was doing, but Ji-soo was taking it as like he was bringing up the past to like make her look bad, or the way that Ji-soo take it, I wasn't fully understanding at the time.
Yeah,
but then she's gonna go on to explain that like however she views their past relationship, like she doesn't want to think about it anymore because she feels like a new person now, and it's like painful for her to like, I don't know if it's thinking about the relationship or just thinking about the person she was in the past, or I don't know what it is, but like I
think it is some combination.
Yeah, like I think I'm more on Ji-soo's side of this actually. Like
normally I don't take this approach. It's more your approach. I would think if that were true, she shouldn't have invited him on this show. Like if she does, if that past with him is something she doesn't want to look at, think about, like, I would think that this would just be a time bomb. Like, she shouldn't have invited him. Like, they should just never see each other again.
Yeah, that's true. The difference, there's a huge difference between Na-yeon though and Ji-soo, because Ji-soo is actually going to say at some point on the show that she shouldn't have invited Wanbin on the show. So she admits that she did
Yeah.
something. She knows that she messed up. But also there was a point early on in the season where I think Ji-soo invited Wanbin on the show so that they
Because
could.
yeah.
Because I think she
kind of
was.
wanted to get back
Yeah, she was
together.
interested in getting
Yeah.
back together. Now, I don't know if she was aware how much she didn't want to talk about the past. And like going onto the show, you probably should know like that's gonna come up on the show, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from that perspective, maybe she shouldn't have be on the show herself.
And maybe she even like locked some of that away herself. Like she wasn't thinking about their past and maybe how she feels bad about how she acted then until like actually in the situation where they are
Yeah.
together and thinking about the past and talking about it, like maybe that's just extra triggering something for her.
And then they're also gonna talk about like the first day that when they went to the X room to chat.
Yeah.
Ji-soo basically found out on like the first night of the show that, or at least Wanbin told her that he didn't want to get back together. And then
Yeah.
Jisoo's
And then
the
she
kind of
was
person
like,
that,
okay, moving on.
yeah, like
Yeah.
even though Jisoo invited him on the show to get back together, she just took him at his word and basically totally dismissed the idea of getting back together. And it has been like a somewhat significant amount of time since, because like Jisoo and Wanbin like dated other people and they didn't interact that much. So from Jisoo's perspective, it's like, oh, you told me you didn't want to be together, so I stopped thinking about it, and it's at least for like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Is probably what it was. And then at some point, I think there's also an element that she's just kind of like fed up with the show as well. Like I don't think she wants to be on the show anymore either. So I think there's a lot of factors, but ultimately, like I get where Jisoo's coming from. Like at some point, like reminiscing about the past is not a particularly fun activity. I kind of agree.
Yeah. And like one of the earlier stops on this date, she does like openly say like she's feeling uncomfortable and she just wants to be friends. Like this is not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, after she uses the word uncomfortable, that's when like Wanbin kind of shuts down on the date. Like because he is someone that probably hates making people feel uncomfortable. So
yeah.
I think he takes it in like the worst way possible.
Yeah.
But it also, I don't know. It seemed like Ji-soo was just trying to tell him how she feels, and then she was hoping they could just continue and have their good friend date. Yeah. But because she kind of uses the word uncomfortable and Wanbin takes it really badly, like it just turns into a disaster where
total bummer.
At some point they just like actually get into an argument because like they're both crying, and it's not like a Heui-du and Na-yeon argument, but it's like these two people that are usually pretty civil are actually like kind of accusing each other of making mistakes at some point, right? Like Wanbin's like, why didn't you just tell me how you felt? And she's like, I tried to. I said it was uncomfortable, or I don't know. Like they're a little accusatory of like, it's more like how like whose fault it is that they got into this exact situation where they're on a date on Jeju Island.
And both miserable.
Yeah, and both miserable, yeah. So they basically break up, right? Is there anything specific we need to talk about? They break up again.
It is sad, and it goes on for a long time. But like, even though they are a little bit accusatory and stuff, like I feel like they're at least adults for the most part. Like we don't get into the petty shit that we get from Heui-du and Na-yeon, like there's an attempt to directly address the issue,
Yeah, like
I
can get into the mindset of both of them and see why they're feeling the way they're feeling and why them being together again led to this. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what happened by coming on the show.
Yeah.
Like it still feels like on paper they should be able to get back together, but there's like some aspect of their history that we can't totally understand, I think. And like they're just maybe it's kind of a communication, like the way they communicate isn't compatible. I'm not sure exactly, but I still think they both seem like reasonable people that should be able to work it out, but it's also okay if they don't work it out. It's fine.
yeah, exactly.
And then eventually Ji-soo actually like leaves the cafe or whatever, like the last location they go to. So she leaves without him, but then she just has to wait in the car.
Exactly. She gets in the car and moves all the cameras so she can just have a moment alone, and yeah.
She did. It wasn't like a dramatic storm out, but she was just like, "I'm gonna go," and then just left, and Wanbin didn't follow her. So
And then eventually he goes out and drives them both away in silence, and
yeah, they still have
that's
to
it.
drive to
Yeah.
the house.
I hope it was close by.
They're the last ones to arrive to the house, like you said. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because it was further or they just left later. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I didn't. I think this was still somewhat interesting to watch. Like it was sad and depressing, but like if it was the only sad date on the episode, like it would have been fine. But it was a little like,
Yeah.
oh, we're watching 3 bad dates, and then this was one. But yeah, but I think it's a little bit. It's like an aspect of the show is that it's like kind of like a social experiment, and I think this is like
Yeah.
an interesting outcome of that social
Yeah.
experiment. But like the Na-eon and Heui-du stuff is just like some very unique outlier of these two people. It seems like I would hope that this would not be a common outcome if when you do this experiment a bunch of times. Like
Yeah. I don't know. I hope there are not that many Heui-du Na-yeon couples out there being miserable and getting back together all
people
the time.
simultaneously like hating each other but refuse to break up. Like
Yeah.
for reals. Yeah. All right. We made it. Everybody's driving to the house now, right?
Yeah, it's a new house where they're gonna stay for the rest of the show, I guess.
Yeah. This house is pretty sweet.
Yeah, there's like a main building that's like a living room, kitchen, and like totally open to the outdoors because it's a nice warm island area. There's a big pool that has like a bunch of cabanas all around it, and then there's like other buildings that have the actual like bedrooms in them.
Seems like a super awesome, like, if you just got a bunch of friends and like took a
Yeah.
vacation together. It's like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The pool is huge.
Oh yeah.
But they're also like right on the ocean too, but it's not, I guess it's not like a beach. I don't know. The house looks like it would just get absolutely destroyed by any storm that came through.
Yeah, so hopefully they don't get many. I don't know.
Yeah. Like there are rooms, but a lot of the rooms are like almost outdoor rooms.
Yeah. I think there's like a big like panel door that you could close it all off, but like for the most part it stays open and you just kind of live outside.
But yeah, it looks like a super fun place to hang out.
Yeah.
All right, then at 1 hour and 43 minutes into the episode, Sarah, we get the intro music to the show.
That's got to be a record.
My God, that's a record for any TV show ever.
Yeah. Oh, and the title of this episode is Discomfort. So accurate.
Yeah. All right, how do we get back? I think Tae and Na-eon get back first on the motorcycle, right?
Yes.
So that's why you said them first. And then
yes, and then it is the awkward leftover trio come back.
Yeah.
And then Heui-du and Na-yeon arrive back, but while they're arriving back, the 3 women who are already in the house are trying to go out to find a bathroom together because I guess it's not in the main house, there's somewhere else. But the moment they like get to where the parking lot is and they see that it's Heui-du and Na-yeon, Ji-young's just like, "Nope, you guys go. There's only one bathroom anyway. Bye," and like runs back to the house because she's like still does not want to deal with Heui-du right now because she, I guess, is still feeling things about him not picking her for the date today.
She did say like she was just showing them where it was, so I don't know if she had planned to go all the way to the thing or not.
Yeah,
but either
it's a
way,
little convenient that she just turned around and ran.
Yeah, Ji-young's not going to text Heui-du at the end, so I think she's
still feeling a way about.
She finally has the correct read that she should maybe get away from this Heui-du situation.
Yeah, I hope she stays in that direction. I don't think it's going to stay that way, but
yeah, no, they're going to have a date on the next episode for sure. Ji-young and Heui-du.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's tension between, because what was this thing was 3, or it was 2 of the dates were exes, and then there was another ex couple in the leftovers date, right?
Yes.
So all the people that like the exes were dating prior to them not being allowed to date their ex, like there's going to be feelings from that perspective.
Yes.
Which is why this show is a little, I don't know, people should have been allowed to like interact with their ex a lot sooner in the show, but like that's how they create this artificial drama, is like
exactly.
It's not artificial, or I don't know. They basically force drama to happen by making the exes not date each other, and then the people that thought they were serious about not getting back together with the ex get hurt because
yep,
they didn't know for sure until they're allowed to date their ex. So what's gonna happen?
Exactly. So then everybody's there except for Wanbin and Ji-soo, and I think Haeun's like, "Oh, that last group, they must be having so much fun because they're so late." Like,
Yeah,
nope,
that was good.
that is not true.
Cut to them arriving and then walking into the house silent and like
Separate, yeah.
25 feet apart from each other.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so then we get a house tour and everybody has to pick bedrooms. We end up with Tae in a single room and the other three guys have a room together.
Yeah,
and
Tae
Jiyeon has
smokes.
a single room.
Tae
yeah,
smokes.
because he says he gets up too much to smoke and doesn't want to disturb the other guys.
Yeah.
And then this was weird. The women played rock, paper, scissors, and the losers ended up in their own single rooms. And I'm like, okay, sure, I guess that makes sense. But
well, I was actually wondering about that. So like, I think Jiyeon takes a single room, or at least that's how they.
Oh yeah,
it.
you're right.
Like, they, I don't know if she convinced them or
she was
what
just
it
like,
was,
yoink.
or my guess is that the other four girls didn't want the single room, and that's why they did rock paper scissors. But sometimes on these shows they play rock paper scissors, but then like the winner is they decide to make like losing the winner. So I wasn't 100%
which is what
sure.
happened. Which is what happened here. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, that's what you think?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I thought that maybe the girls wanted all to stay together instead of having a single room. I guess because it's more exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, but then that makes sense that the loser would get the single room. But what I'm saying is like sometimes on these shows when they play rock paper scissors, they just decide to make the loser the winner. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They just like reverse the rules basically of rock paper scissors. So I wasn't 100% sure, but I think Ji-soo didn't want the single room, but she ends up getting it. That's my best guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we do have the preserved roommates of Na-eon.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And Haeun.
Yeah.
In a three-person room.
Yeah. And like Ji-young and Tae, who are exes, both wanted the single room.
Single rooms, yeah.
Which is I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah, these rooms though, they're actually like nice because they're like 2 stories. So there's like a bedroom and a living room, and then there's like a deck on the second floor. So they're more than just like a room. It's kind of like your own.
I think there's
house.
also like a bathroom in there too.
Yeah, it's like your own little house.
It's just you're just missing a kitchen, basically.
Yeah. But they are really small. Like Tae's head like almost hits the ceiling in the house. Like that's how small these houses are. And you kind of have to like crawl up the staircase to the second floor because it's like a low ceiling. Yeah. Oh, the other thing, I don't know if you mentioned it. They also found out that there's a sauna.
Yeah.
And then Na-eon and Haeun discover the sauna, and then Na-eon says to Haeun, "Shouldn't we use this with a guy?"
But then they decide that their makeup would melt off, so they possibly.
They're not gonna do it right now. But it was like already hot in there. I thought you would have to like, don't you have to like turn it on and then put water in there for like it really to do
I would think.
But they made it seem like they walked in and it was already on. I was like, okay. Yeah, are Na-eon and Haeun close? Like they seemed very chummy with each other through this. Like,
yeah, they did.
Yeah, I like Na-eon and Haeun are probably my favorite 2 girls in the show, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I kind of like this if we get more of them being friends on the show. But yeah, hopefully get a sauna scene. That I was promised a Heart Signal 4 sauna scene with all the women, and we did not get it.
You were not promised. It was just.
Why would you put it in the show if it wasn't going to happen?
That way you kept watching just in case it did happen.
But yeah, I think we get a Na-eon Tae sauna scene.
Oh, there
I don't
you
know.
go.
It seemed like Na-eon was most excited about it. So
That's true.
Yeah. Anything else from the rooms? The room choices.
Not really.
Oh, so at different times throughout the room picking process, Heui-du's gonna like talk to Ji-young and then run into Ji-soo. And to both of them, he says at different times to like keep their back straight when they're standing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this must be what he does with Na-eon all the time. Now with Ji-young, it's like she definitely slouches. Like,
okay,
not that it's like appropriate for Heui-du to say anything, but if he cares about her like a little, I don't know. It wasn't as bad. But then when he said it also to Ji-soo, I was like, bro, just stop. Like,
yeah.
And then I think he even like touches Ji-soo's back or at some point too. which like
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, when did these two like become, or like I don't know if like I don't know. Usually people don't touch on this show, so I was like,
Yeah.
and I feel like we haven't gotten very many Heui-du Ji-soo interactions, but they did kind of stop
Yeah.
and talk to each other about how like Heui-du did ask her like, oh, how was your date, and Ji-soo was like, give a face like, nah, it was bad. and, then, and then he was also like, I feel like Heui-du said his was bad too,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though it doesn't matter if it's bad for him.
I think we have had a couple like Heui Jisoo buddy scenes a couple times, maybe. So that
Okay.
might explain the.
I remember Heian being Heui-du's buddy, but I don't
Yeah.
really remember Ji-soo as much.
I think there might have been at
I've seen
least one.
the Ji-soo Tae kind of buddy scenes.
Well, weren't they part of the like breakfast crew at some point? Like there were only like a couple people who were up in time for breakfast ever.
Wasn't that Ji-soo and Gyumin for the
Yeah,
breakfast
but then I
duo?
think Heui-du also joined
Heui-du's in
once
there too.
he.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'm just
I think.
forgetting, but I was a little like,
I don't know.
I'm
It's been a
definitely
while.
like, I mean, I'm already like, I'm just triggered by Heui-du, so like,
Yeah,
little thing he says,
Heui-du
but
sucks.
like,
It's fair.
yeah, don't just stop, dude. All right, then Tae is gonna discover a letter in the living room.
Yeah, they have like drinks and snacks set up there, and everybody's gathering. And but it's not really a letter; it's just an envelope full of Polaroids of all the couple
Yeah, I
items
thought it was
from
gonna
the
be a
dates,
letter.
and it's super awkward. It's a weird, awkward experience everyone has to have together.
Yeah, I don't get this. I thought this was like gonna be the Exes reveal, but it was like, I don't know. Because I'm somebody
Yeah,
that doesn't have any couples gifts, maybe I just don't get this. But like, to me, this was
I
such
mean,
a
I don't
nothing.
get this. Like, what was the because it's? I mean, there were couple ex couples who went on dates today, but that was not true for all of these couple gifts. I don't know what the purpose of this was. It was weird.
I actually think, like, to me, this comes across as like production is just trying to stir up drama by like forcing the guys to get the girls couples gifts. But then a lot of them were already exes anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But like,
Yeah.
but like I could see like productions like, oh, we're gonna make Tae get a couples gift with Na-eon, and then Ji-young is gonna react a certain way to that.
Yeah, but then he failed to do it in a way that was, it's not like a bracelet.
It wasn't really
that
a
she's gonna wear
couples
all
gift.
the. Yeah,
It was like,
exactly.
it was like her reaction to the helmet was like we found out she's never ridden on his current motorcycle, but she did ride on his previous motorcycle, and she's not that excited about motorcycles in general, so it didn't seem to have a major effect on her.
I mean, the couple's gifts did cause a ruckus between Heui-du and Na-eon, so way to go, show. You got them to fight immediately instead of waiting till they got to the first location.
They don't need
I guess.
anything to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, like, we could go through 100 things in this episode that led to them having a quick little fight. But it literally doesn't matter. And Heui-du will find something to say that will be annoying. At some
Yep.
She could sit there and do nothing, and something will be said eventually.
Of course.
Because she's not doing anything. Why aren't you saying anything? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And then the lights go out, and a video turns on. And this is such a nothing segment for me. Like they start showing like people's couples
actual couples
from
gifts, from the X room.
Exes. Yeah, waste of time.
And then you get the voiceovers of one part of the couple, so it doesn't confirm anything.
Yeah,
and then there's an awkward like 60-second timer, and they're like, "We're gonna reveal the Exes." It's like, why do we need a timer? Just play the video.
We don't need a timer, but I think for them, I think it would actually be fun to like. They want to get a reaction shots from them, basically. So they're like, "Hey, 60 seconds, they're going to be revealed," and then they all start freaking out. So I didn't hate that as much, but I just didn't understand like why did we need this couples item segment prior to revealing the Exes? This is so silly.
Yeah.
But finally, my God, Sarah, finally,
yeah,
it's happening. Here we go.
Yeah, Heun is pumped for this, and Gyumin is not pumped for this. He's just like, I don't want anyone to know.
Yeah. Gyumin's kind of been able to hide or like somewhat justify his behavior on the show by like hiding behind the production aspect of it, and now he won't be able to do that basically. So he's not that pumped.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I still don't include, even though I'm really glad this is finally happening, I would not include this reveal segment as like the interesting part of this episode because we largely have already seen this,
Yeah.
And for the most part, like there's a couple people who are shocked by some like one of the like
Mm-hmm.
ex couples because they didn't figure that out. Maybe they got two of them wrong, but like for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
everybody knew. So it wasn't like this big reveal where people are
Yeah.
so shocked that Heian and Guman are exes or whatever. It's
Yeah, mostly it's just now Na-eon can't lie to herself anymore about how she's the one who's hurting Heun by dating her ex-boyfriend. Is
oh yeah, yeah. Even though she already knew, but she was able to like kind of like Guman. She was just like, well, I don't actually know until I know, so I'll pretend like I
yeah.
don't know, even though I do know.
And Na-eon and Heun actually kind of talk about it a little bit on a like high level, but like in a cheerful way. And Heun's still just encouraging as hell, just like it's yeah, no, it's fine. You're on a show, you date people, whatever. I'm miserable all the time, but I do not blame you.
Yeah, Heian is like I can't really get into her head about why she's so obsessed with Guman, but like there's a history that I can't understand with that. But
Mm-hmm.
she's totally reasonable about the Na-eon stuff. Like, yeah, it was making
Absolutely.
her cry and she was having emotions because of the situation, but like she doesn't actually think Na-eon's a bad person for like
Mm-hmm.
dating her ex on this TV show where you're supposed to date each other. Like it's
Exactly.
yeah, it's Haeun's totally despite her crying all the time, like she's very reasonable.
Yeah.
Like outside of however she feels about Guman.
And we do get sort of a shift in our human confessionals now where he is willing to admit that like he is purposefully acting not so nice to her because he doesn't want to acknowledge his feelings and he doesn't want her to like him. And whereas before he's just been like, oh, it doesn't matter, whatever. He's like trying to play it cool, like he wasn't purposely trying to be a little mean to her.
He tries to justify it. Still BS to me. It's total BS
Yeah,
because
yeah. But he's at least like starting to acknowledge that like he does have feelings about her and, he is
I don't know.
purposefully doing things.
He like I don't know. I do not believe that we've gotten enough of an indication that Guman ever intended to get back with Heian.
Oh yeah, I don't think he intended to get
And
back with
he
her,
invited
but
her to be on the show. So
yeah.
I Guman's still like total shit to me, like because of
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like
I am not saying
it
he is
there
better.
is
I'm
no
saying
justification.
he is now starting to be slightly more honest about things. Whereas before he's like, no, I don't have any feelings about her. Not at all. Like, I still believe that he didn't intend to get back with her, but he does, in fact, still have some lingering feelings going around because it's hard not to. And now he's starting to acknowledge that in confessionals instead of just saying, no, no feelings about her at all. Of course not.
Yeah, to me, it's a little bit of like he's not saying it to Heian, but he's like trying to. It's a little bit like, oh, it's not you, it's me. Like he's saying, like I don't want to have the feelings. At times, he's saying, I didn't want to have my feelings grow because I don't want to get back with her, so I've been avoiding her for that reason. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he's also says more definitively later, like, oh, I didn't want Heian to get the wrong
Oh, yeah, yeah.
idea. So like this is I don't know. I'm still taking it out as like, yeah, I don't think he has any real like he has like they dated for 7 years, so he's gonna have feelings around her, but I don't think there's
Yeah.
any actual like oh, I might accidentally get back with her if I get too close to her. Like I don't think that's a thing that human is. I don't believe that aspect of it.
Yeah, I don't believe that's going to happen either. I'm just saying there's a change in that he is willing to acknowledge that there is some little feelings in his soul about her, whereas before he was just like, nope, not at all. I don't feel anything. Of course not.
I don't know. Human. I'm not happy with human.
I'm not happy with him either. I'm not saying this makes him better. I'm just saying there is a change in the way he is presenting information.
Human would be the dirtbag of the season if Heui-du wasn't on the show. What's
Again, I am not defending human. She's just a slightly different dirtbag now. That's all.
okay? Because this is what's gonna happen later, and this is crazy to me. Human is
Mm-hmm.
gonna watch like the reveal of Heui-du and Na-yeon's relationship together,
Mm-hmm.
and he's
Yeah.
gonna like really sympathize with Heui-du
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
he's like,
They both suck.
but like I hope that he doesn't realize what he's comparing himself and feels like he's a lot like Heui-du. I hope he doesn't fully realize what he's saying when he says that. But
But I think that is after like she breaks a glass, right? And he do like
he says it multiple
gets all
times.
well, yeah, but I mean he does specifically say it like after like the first like this is the first time we see Hidu openly being shit to Na-eon in front of other people. It's like she breaks a glass accidentally, And like, while other people are trying to help and fussing over it, he's just like, just stop. Like, I'll just deal with it. Like, what are you doing? And like, he's being an actual jerk to her. And
Yeah.
everybody sees it for the first time. And after that, Human is still like, that's my bro. We're the same.
Oh, he does it after that. Okay, yeah. He does it like in these videos, and then he does it again later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Humans as bad as he do, but I think Humans is more of like, oh, we're the same because like we're both calm people who are dating somebody that's energetic, or who have exes that are energetic. But like, Heui-du is not actually calm. Like, like Human
No.
is calm. I'll give him that, but I don't think he's properly seeing Heui-du for what he really is when he says this. It's like,
Yeah.
Heui-du's not actually calm. He just tries to act like he doesn't have huge emotions about things, but he actually gets so angry about the littlest shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's so stupid.
And he's been hiding it really well until now because he wasn't allowed to reveal his ex, and she's the only person who's going to make him this mad.
Was he hiding it that well? Because as soon as
I don't think he was before they got announced and they did this whole thing. Like, he wasn't being a jerk openly to her.
We didn't get to see it as much, but yeah. But I don't know, when they revealed the Heui-du and Na-yeon relationship, and then basically they get into like a mini argument in the cafe before the show, everybody just starts laughing because they're like, classic Na-yeon and Heui-du.
Oh, that
like,
is true.
It's like they argue about everything. So I don't know. I feel like at least some of them were onto them before seeing this.
Yeah, I think there might be a difference in like they argue about things versus like when he does this shit where he's like talking down to her and being like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why would you, like, I think it's there could be there nuance there. Like, we've seen them fight over whose dog is cuter or whatever bullshit, but the way he is specifically mean to her when she breaks this glass is the first time we've seen that when they're around other people on the show.
Okay. Yeah, at least that we've seen.
Yeah.
All right. Do we need to go through all these scenes one by one?
No.
I'll say
I didn't write them all down.
Wonbin and Na-eon are crying for everybody's reveal. Na-eon is having emotions. Despite her, she's not in any of them. She's crying to everybody else's couples reveal.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be so embarrassed to watch this.
Oh, absolutely.
This is like traumatizingly embarrassed to me to have to watch yourself talk to your ex. It's also like
in front of people you're trying to date.
Exactly. It's like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't know. It's almost like a little dirty too, because like they didn't go have that conversation with their ex. Like, they knew it would be on the show, but I don't think they knew this will be shown to the people I'm trying to date on the show. Yeah.
Exactly. I like honestly just expected them to be like, this person goes with this person. Yay! And that's it. Like, it is really weird to show like so much of their conversation and like indications on like if they actually came here to get back together or whatever. Yeah. Like,
it's weird. Like, it like kind of makes sense for the show and what they do on this show, but like, I don't know. To me, it's like, it's kind of a private moment that did not need to be. And it's also so long ago. Like, in that scene, like, Ji-soo wants to get back with Wonbin, but we know now it's like it's the exact opposite. So it's almost like meaningless to watch them from 3 weeks ago.
But we do get the fun Wonbin explaining his reasons for being on the show, which his number one reason was for getting paid. Number two was, I think, he would never get a chance to do something like this again. And 3 was, catch up with Ji-soo or whatever.
Yeah. Which, I feel like he definitely was interested in Ji-soo, despite him trying to pretend in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we can talk about the money thing, like, because you're always skeptical about the people that come on these shows and their intentions, like, and motivations. I do think for these people that are students, and this is what like Wonbin basically says, is like, yeah, he's not making any money, and then he gets offered the spot on the show and he gets an opportunity to make money, and it's like, and as long as it doesn't totally interfere with like his schedule, which I guess it didn't, because he, for the most part, can still go to classes on the show. Yeah, it's just an opportunity to make money, and that I agree with you. Like, I don't really like that. Like, I don't want to be like, I don't want money to be the main reason that these people are coming on the show. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed from that aspect with Wonbin.
I mean, we're also talking about somebody who's probably still lying to himself at this point about how he feels about Ji-soo. I do actually believe that getting to see her again and like figuring out if there's a chance there was actually a big part of him deciding to be on or not.
Yeah. But what I will say is like I still believe like if somebody has a full-time job, the money you get paid on these shows can't be worth like leaving or like not getting paid for that job or whatever. You know, like your time is better spent on if you truly do not care about the love aspect of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely more incentivized to just stay at your job, I think, if that's all you care about.
But I think there is an angle of anybody who is trying to get into the entertainment industry, like as an actor or whatever, like, or maybe get a better position. Like Na-eon is already on TV, but this like shows her in a different light and to a different audience. Theoretically could be advantageous to her, except for I would think that this relationship dumpster fire would probably backfire on that front, but that's not the point. I can see that also as a motivating factor.
Yeah, I agree with anybody that's in the media or like YouTubers or sometimes on these shows. They also deserve like you can be skeptical of their intentions as well. But like somebody like Ji-won in a Heart Signal 4, like what was he? He was an intern at a hospital. Like he was so
on his
busy.
way to becoming a doctor. Yeah,
he was so busy. Like he had to have been on the show thinking that he could find somebody.
Yeah, just because he's too busy to date like normal. So if he's forced to through a show, maybe it would work out. Except too busy for this show too. Didn't work out.
It didn't work out, but I still think I would hope there's at least more people than not that are actually interested in finding somebody when they come on these shows. But okay. Anything else from these X reveals?
I guess the thing that people mostly get is that some people say how long they've been together in their videos, so like people get a better idea of that. Whereas a lot of people have been lying about how long they were together with their ex or whatever. So some of that comes out.
Because I think Na-eon and Guman were lying to each other about
how long they had been with their last. Yeah.
Because Na-eon only told Guman about like the length of their last, like she didn't include all the
sprint
breakups
together. Yeah.
And at some point, I think Guman said it was like 1 year, but it was actually like 7 years. So
yeah.
So that was like the one piece of information that people had a reaction to the most, I think.
And that didn't even come out for everybody. It was just in a couple of circumstances.
Yeah. I think it probably was all given, but it wasn't as big reaction.
I don't think so, because they like come back later when they're all just hanging out and somebody asks about like,
you're talking about
has it been since you broke up?
Okay.
Yeah, just in the videos. But the last video is of Na-eon coming into the cafe alone, and then it seems like, I don't know if it's just a weird edit, but it seems like simultaneously her ex walks into the actual building where they all are.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. He does. Yeah, they do edit it where they had at least somebody walk into the cafe. And then they, right before like they pan up to see his face, they like turned it off for us at least. And then they opened the door to the living room, and then the new guy shows up in the living room. So I don't know. I don't know if that was a real.
Yeah, I don't know
if that was a real scene or not.
But it's still really dark in there. But like the hosts and all the people start freaking out about how hot this guy is, and I'm like, it's dark. I can't see shit. Okay, sure.
I feel like I'm super numb to people overreacting to how hot people are on the shows. Like, I have no gauge at this point for what is considered like truly hot and what is not.
Well, it seemed like the hosts and at least all the women on the show were like, that's a hot individual. So we'll have to go with that.
Wait, I think I wrote down the comments. Yeah. Oh yeah, new guy enters the living room. Finally something exciting is happening. Let's go. The show is legit good from this point on, the last 30 minutes. Wonbin says, "Here comes a cool man." Na-eon can't control her shocked face, but this is her ex, so she kind of has this funny face, I thought. Yeah, the other girls stand to greet him, which I noticed. I think Ji-soo was like, I think we should stand. So I don't know if that was a reaction to how he looked. Na-eon says, he is incredibly handsome. My goodness. Guman says he thinks the new guy is not Haeun's type.
Yeah.
Which I think might be the right read. We'll see. And then the host are reacting because they think he looks exactly like Na-eon, which brings up this whole conversation about people looking like each other again. So I was like, how is this happening? I will say, like, once we got a closer look at him, they do kind of look like each other, though. I agreed with that one. Like,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
like people are trying to say like Heui and Guman looked alike, but I was like, I don't know. I couldn't.
Yeah, I
really
don't
see
see
it,
that.
but I kind of saw the Na-eon and Hyung-kyu look-alikeness. Yeah, Tae. I feel like I don't know if they just edited it this way, but it really looks like Tae is just giving Hyung-kyu the stare down.
He's like,
he
finally things are going well for me. Don't you come and fuck it up.
Yeah, so they're all like, so they're on this couch that kind
like
of
a big U shape.
It's like a big elongated U shape, right? And then, but then when the projector came on, it was like not in front of the couch. It was like to the right of the people sitting on the couch. So everybody moved to like the left side of the couch so that they could all look to the right and watch the projector. And then Hyung-kyu comes in and he just sits on the opposite side of the couch where everybody
all
is
alone.
not sitting. So it's just him alone on the other side of the couch while everybody else on the other side. But Tae is like the closest person to him and he's just like staring at him. which like, I mean, it's a situation where it's a new guy, so you just look at it, but it gives you the vibe of like, he's like, oh, I know this is not Na's ex. Like, this is my enemy, my rival. I don't know.
Yeah, that feels like an accurate read, you know?
Yeah. And then Na-eon's confessional is weird here, right? She's like, he's like, he seemed to be behaving awkwardly. She's talking about her ex, and she didn't want him to embarrass her. Was like kind of the vibe that she was giving off. Like, I think
she's like, I chose this person.
Yeah,
like, people are gonna think about me in a bad way if he is shitty.
Yeah, like she didn't say I invited him on the show. She's like, I chose him, and like I was like, how many options did you have to choose from?
No, I think in just like the respect that she dated him once meant she chose him. Like, you know.
Oh, that's
not
how
necessarily
you took it?
for the show, but just like
that makes more sense. I was
clearly
like,
you've never had an embarrassing ex.
I thought she was like, I had like 5 guys to choose from, and I chose you, so don't embarrass me. But I see. I guess that kind of makes sense. I guess like, yeah, if you dated somebody, you might get embarrassed that you dated that person.
Yeah.
Depending on how they act. That's fair, I guess. Yeah. All right. We meet Hyung-kyu, Sarah. What did we learn about Hyung-kyu? What's his introduction?
He is 25 years old, which makes him the youngest dude on this show now.
Yeah, not a good spot.
He is a college student studying physical education. That's our 3rd physical education major at Seoul University. But he also has engineering as his 2nd major. And he wants to start a startup with some friends.
That's what he's still a student, but that's what he's actually planning a startup while he's a student.
Yeah.
Na-eon is also 25, right? And then Ji-young is like
Maybe.
22,
Yeah.
so I think he's the 2nd youngest person in the house and the youngest guy.
Yeah.
So this is not historically a good spot to be in, but we'll see. Na-yeon seems very into Hyung-kyu in the confessionals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But like, I don't think Na-yeon is going to do anything about this, but
Yeah.
I don't know. They're at least using her reaction to him, yeah.
Yeah.
Ji-soo also seems really into his face, right? She has a funny
she has a lot to say about
his face.
And then we get Haeun, who is sad that he's younger than her. So
yeah, Haeun.
She kind of writes it off immediately.
I couldn't tell if there was a little bit of a nuance to how she said it, where like I assume it's like the normal like I don't want to date somebody younger than me angle, but
it might be that she thinks he wouldn't want to date her.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that too. Like, oh, he's a young, hot guy. Like, why would he date an older woman like me? And, like, that's why he's disappointed. But like, if she meant it like that, either way, actually, like, it is good that we're hearing Haeun be
Express
in
interest.
dating somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, like that. I was like, oh,
Yes.
this is positive. I like that. Okay.
100%.
I'm still rooting for Haeun. I'm a Haeun fan.
Yeah.
I gotta root for
things
somebody
to turn out for her. Yeah. And I think this is our last chance, right? Like, there's no other guys who are going to show up. It's this guy or nothing.
Yeah. And it's also possible that Haeun just part of the reason why she was so hung up on Guman is that she wasn't into the other guys also. Like, it could be part of it. Yeah, I'm rooting for Na-eon and Heui-du. I feel like those are my two favorites right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they all introduce themselves, which we get to watch again. But this time they don't make Na-eon introduce herself to Hyung-kyu.
Yeah, because now
they're like,
everybody
no,
knows.
They were like, no, don't do it. It's too awkward. We can't. We don't want to watch that. I also like I even though I was like, wow, I can't believe we're introducing everybody again because we haven't watched in a while. I actually forgot how young everybody is on the show. Like nobody's in their 30s. And that's like Korean age 30s. So really nobody's like 20 older than 29, right? Yeah. So like compared to the Heart Signal 4 cast, like it's a very young cast, which could be a reason why everyone's kind of a mess on the show.
So dysfunctional. Yeah.
I think the sweet spot, I think I prefer to watch people that are like 27 or older in actual age. So like 29 in Korean age or like, I feel like being almost in your 30s or in your 30s tends to be the people I like more.
Yeah, people who have their shit together and, you know.
But there are exceptions like Jimin in Heart Signal 4. Like she was worth having on the show, even though she was so young.
She's way too charming to not have on the show.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, is there really anybody on this show? I guess Ji-young is kind of the outlier. Like they must have really liked Ji-young because she's like what 20? 19?
Oh no, well, Tae was the one that auditioned for the show though.
Tae asked her to be on the show, but
so they started from a place of like wanting to bring Tae in, and then like agreed to her.
I mean, I don't know how the production process works, but do you think Tae's getting on the show without Ji-young?
I mean, I feel like, well, I don't know what the process is. If you have to go to your ex and be like, hey, go audition for the show with me, or if you audition for the show and they go, okay, who's your ex? I don't know.
I would assume, I don't know actually. I mean, I would assume like you would send an application in as an individual, but mention your ex. I don't know. I feel like it might be an awkward situation where you actually have to like ask your ex in advance, like, hey, do you want to apply to this form with me? It might be that awkward. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a good question. That would be interesting to know, actually.
But, okay, so Wonbin said part of the reason he decided to go on was because of the pay. You wouldn't know the pay before you auditioned.
I mean, you could probably find out, but yeah, the way Wonbin said it did make it seem like you're right. Like Ji-soo, like got through some sort of threshold in the audition process, and then invited Wonbin to join her. To me, it's a little bit of like, would production really waste their time like filtering people out and choosing people, and then the person that they choose asks their ex to be on the show, and they're just like, no. And then now they can't be on the show like that. I don't think production is wasting their time doing that.
I don't think they're doing a lot of work with them before they probably go top 50 people who don't suck. Let's see who your exes are real quick. See if they'll agree to this potential thing. And then once they know who all the exes are, then they get down to their cast.
I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Seems risky. Seems like, I don't know, what percentage of exes like say you pick 100 people. Say you like, okay, we got 100 people we like, 100 individuals, and then they're all gonna invite their exes to be on the show. What percentage of them? How many of them actually
agree?
Get an ex to agree to come on the show with them?
Maybe that's why the pay's so good.
Oh, they have to like, do the people that get invited on the show make more money?
Ooh, they get paid more money?
On the show? Maybe.
We need to find somebody who knows the answers to these questions.
To me, I feel like it's like 10% or less. Like, that's how many people would agree to do this.
Yeah. I would absolutely never go on the show. This is a disaster.
Yeah, sorry. Do you have an ex that you would agree to go on the show with?
No.
Okay.
No. And that's not even saying anything about my exes. That's saying about this entire premise of the show.
Yeah.
And how I would just believe it would be a disaster.
Yeah, because it's not even like, oh, are you on good enough terms with your ex? It's like it's that, and you have to be open to being on a TV show, which I feel like there's not a lot of overlap with those two things.
Now, you are a person who is open to being on a TV show. Would you go on the show with an ex?
I would not go on this TV show with my ex, no.
Okay.
But like, could I have, like, if I wasn't with somebody and then I had other exes,
Oh yeah, of course.
Is there an ex out there that I wouldn't say there's a 0% chance that I would agree to be on the show, depending on how my life
circumstances
went a different direction, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because honestly, if you get asked by somebody that you're still into, like, why wouldn't you go on the show?
Because it's a disaster waiting to happen. Look at poor Hyun.
Like, you also get to meet other people, though,
who are also awkwardly hung up on their exes. Ugh.
I would think about it, honestly, but I think ultimately I would be like, this is too awkward for, like, my actual ex.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think these shows would, like, be fun to go on. Like, I wouldn't go on this show having seen it, but I don't think production has my best interest at heart on this show, which...
Oh yeah, production fucking hates everybody on this show and is trying to make them miserable all the time.
Yeah, but Heart Signal seems like a very fun show to go on. Singles Inferno would be fun to go on too.
Oh, way less awkward than this situation over here.
Yeah. All right, where were we?
I don't know. We went on a big old tangent.
We got through everybody's reactions to Hyung-kyu.
Right.
And then there was a weird moment.
There's a letter.
Yeah, I thought like only Na-eon got this text, and I thought it was going to be something specific to her, but then I think she was just the first person to see the text.
Oh, yeah, because this happened at the same time that Na-yeon broke a glass and everyone was fussing over that. And Na-yeon did not give a shit and just went and got the letter.
Yeah, okay. So, but like, I guess she couldn't find it, so then eventually Ji-soo like gets up and Ji-soo finds it or whatever. But then Na-eon reads it. What does it say?
The new participant, Hyung-kyu, please choose your date for tomorrow right now. However, you can't choose your ex. And then there's no number for him to text, so he just has to say, I'm picking this person.
Yeah. I don't... Do you know what the rule was? Because that's how they interpret the card. But I guess the card usually has a number.
Normally the card has a number at the bottom, and they ask if there's a number at the bottom.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, I guess he just...
has to say it out loud.
Has to say it.
So, but what happens here, though, and this is why it's kind of... I feel like maybe he could have just texted production.
Yeah.
Is that immediately after the card gets read, this isn't all revealed right up front, but we can just say what happens. Basically, like, he already knows who he wants to choose. Like, he had a reaction to one of the girls.
Yeah.
So he instantly takes out his phone, and he just, like, learned everybody's name, but he, like, texts production, like, hey, I want to pick the girl wearing the pink whatever, the pink shirt. Is her name Haeun? Like, he wants to make sure he gets the name right before he says it, basically. So, like... So
he could have just been like, I pick Haeun, don't make me do this.
He already has production's number. Like, why does there need to be a number on the card?
Just because there always is in every other circumstance.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I feel like they probably prepped him for this. They're like, you're going to go on and then you're going to pick somebody. So just, pick somebody.
You think they prepped him? Maybe.
He's been here for 5 minutes. Like, I feel like they might as well just, because they knew it was going to be confusing otherwise, right?
I don't think it's confusing. It's like, hey, you're going to enter the show and now you're on the show. And then 5 minutes into the show, it's like, hey, you got to pick somebody. Like, I don't think he gets to be privy to that information. Now, he might have been prepared for it because maybe he's watched these kinds of shows before. Also, he might know that I don't know. He might know that he has some advantage. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't know specifically. He knows, like, hey, 5 minutes into there, you're gonna get a choice. But yeah, he picks Haeun, and he seemed like very confident about his choice. Yeah. He did not hesitate, but he did wait long enough to not make it awkward. But I feel like this interim time must have been so awkward because, like, think of it, if you're a woman on this show, like, you might want to start conversation with this guy just to make it less awkward, bring him into the group or whatever, but then it just kind of looks like you're there trying to, like, convince him to pick you for a date or whatever. Like, it's just too much weird shit to think about to have a normal interaction during this time. That's how it would be, like, on The Bachelor, like some US show. It'd be like this person gets to pick somebody for a date, and then they would, like, have one-on-ones real fast with all the women.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's how it would probably go. But on the show, they were like, they read the note, and then they were like, oh, I feel like it was a little bit of, like, peer pressuring in him to just, like, saying, oh, I guess you have to say out loud what your date is. And then they just kind of, like, I feel like what they did was, like, they all just, like, stopped talking to him, and they were just like, you let us know when you're ready to say it. Like, just think about it. And he just sat there for, like, I feel like he sat there for like 5 minutes just to, even though he knew who he was gonna say right away.
Yeah.
Because it is awkward. I think it is awkward if like they were like, "Hey, you have to choose somebody for a date," and he's like, "Hey, like hey, right now, let's go." Oh wait, it's tomorrow. Oh, sorry, I thought we were dating right now. So yeah, I think he did that. I think he played it cool.
Yeah, definitely. But I do like the instant it's Heun enthusiastic for Heun's situation.
Oh yeah,
Finally, let's get her on a date, and I hope it goes well. Yeah.
yeah. I was actually kind of hoping he was gonna pick Ji-soo.
That would also have been an acceptable choice.
Yeah, but then when he picked Taeyeon, I was like, never mind, this is hype. Because kind of forgot. I kind of forgot that I was really rooting for Guman to get to see Taeyeon like have a good time.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
I feel like we still might not get that, but we're gonna get a reaction where Guman is like, and he's in a confessional, he's saying like, "Oh yeah, I was jealous when he picked Taeyeon," but
Yeah, and everybody calls him out
know.
like right after she gets picked, and they're like, "Oh my god, look at Human's face!" Because now
yeah,
they know too much.
know.
They can tease each other.
The
even
show
more.
is way more fun now. It's so much more fun that they know the exes now. Like they can tease each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like every time anybody goes on a date with anybody now, like some like third party person can just go to someone's ex and be like, "Hey, what do you think about? What do you think they're doing on that date with your ex?" Like I don't know. I think this dynamic's gonna be way more fun going forward.
Oh, and then he like looks right at her and says, "Well, see you tomorrow, Heun." And everyone, the participants and the hosts, all lose their absolute minds over this line, which it's got to be some Korean language nuance.
No,
why this is just like such a bold, sexy line or something.
I didn't get it at first either, but I think it's because he addressed her with her name, which is like not like they just met and he's already like he said Heyeon, which is not
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like it wasn't weird when he said, like originally he picked Heyeon and he said her name, but then he said again directly to Heyeon, like
yeah, you're right. That's totally what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And then Heyeon, everybody has a huge reaction to him saying Heyeon's name to her. And Heyeon like has a big smile, but then she like covers up her entire face with her hands. And then Guman just like leans his head all the way back, like he knows that the like I don't know. They all have a huge reaction to this, even though like it's meaningless to us. But it's kind of funny. Everybody, even, like the host went nuts, and all the participants went nuts too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Heyeon, even if Heyeon is like I don't date younger guys person, I think she'll at least have fun. Like she's been so miserable for for the last like 2+ weeks. Like she should. I think she's ready to have some fun a little bit.
And she went on a date with Wonbin, and she never once said like, "Oh, this isn't gonna happen because he's younger." It's just he wasn't human, so it was never gonna happen. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if we got
that's
like,
a good
full
sign.
Story of that date. Like she also just like might not be that into Wonbin.
Yeah,
was part of it. That's what I'm hoping, at least.
But I mean, she just didn't use it as like an excuse or didn't point it out as like a thing about her. So I'm just kind of hopeful that it won't matter.
Yeah,
and she'll have a great time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the end of Heyeon's story here.
Yeah.
Hyung-kyu tells us in a confessional that Heyeon's face made an impression.
Yep.
He also likes the sound of her name, which
that's a good sign.
This is all he had to go off of. So
he's been there for 5 minutes. Makes sense.
I like if he didn't say why he picked her, I wouldn't have thought the sound of her name, but like yeah, he literally only had like I guess the sound of their voice maybe when they introduced themselves. Like what did he get to go off besides their face? Not much. Oh, he did learn their ages. So if he
that's true,
but he's the youngest,
and their
jobs. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Oh, they did do jobs too. So I guess he had something. He had like a little mini dating profile for all the girls, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And in theory, do you think he was also from backstage or whatever watching all the videos of them with their exes? Or is he at a total disadvantage and doesn't know who dated who?
They made it seem like he did not because at least one of the other participants like explained to him that they just watched the exes reveals.
Like, but that could just be like they just assumed he didn't see it.
Yeah.
He might have still seen it.
Yeah, that's true. I was under the assumption that like he wasn't sure how secretive he had, like he would have been secret about who his ex was until everybody revealed that, oh, they already know, basically. But I'm not sure. You might be right.
I think he would at least know that he didn't have to be a secret about it, because like he's literally coming in. At least the way it's edited, it did seem like when a video of him meeting his ex is on the TV, like on the projector.
That's true.
And like that would be a huge disadvantage. You're the new guy, and you don't have this information that everybody else just got. Like that would be
I agree. Actually,
too ridiculous.
Yeah, it's almost like watching the conversations between the exes before the show was his advantage. Like that would make sense actually. We're like, remember how like Na-eon got to do the talking room?
Oh yeah.
I like the idea that like somehow the talking room was like the best way to date somebody on the show. Like like she basically like chose
working out,
and like it's like, oh yeah, we love this match. Like she
great.
could tell through the squeaky voice filter like who she liked the best.
Like
basically.
that's the right amount of snark for me. Let's go.
It might just be credit to Na-eon, just like she's good at it, but I don't know if like everybody would have been good at it.
That's true.
Yeah. Because some people might just like focus on it was all, wasn't it? It was also weird where like the guys didn't know who they were talking to. Which
that's right.
Might have made it better actually. I don't know. I remember I was really down on all the rooms on the show, but maybe that one wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I think that one was good.
Yeah. Oh, is this an indication? Because we talked about the different realities where Haeyeon is on the show day one and she's not a game changer.
Uh-huh.
Is this an indication that Haeyeon might have been popular if she had been in the house on day one? Like, this is like the only opportunity she's gotten so far where like she's meeting another participant for the first time.
Yeah.
And then this participant is like choosing her based on looks alone, like over everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Could be a whole different story for Haeyeon if she was in the house day one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in so many different ways, it would have been a different story for her if she was in from the beginning. But
yeah, I guess she did meet Heui-du before Heui-du met anybody else.
Yeah, but that was like, you're on a date now. Like there was no choosing. It was just
there was no choosing.
Go to this location, be on a date.
Yeah, but she did have like an advantage over the other women with Heui-du, and it didn't turn into anything. So I don't know.
Which, I mean, honestly, is lucky for her. So good job, Haeyeon. You dodged a bullet.
Yeah. I'm just curious because like most of the guys liked Na-yeon, right? In the beginning.
Yeah.
That was like kind of the story. But like, I'm curious because I'm so numb to who's like the most attractive person, like who everybody thinks the most attractive person is in these shows. I can't tell. Like, I'm curious if.
Well, we do even get, before he actually picks Haeyeon, we get in confessionals from Heui-du, Wonbin, and Mingyu or Gumin that they all think he will pick Na-yeon.
Oh, because they all pick Na-yeon, basically.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay. Oh, okay. If Haeyeon was in the house in the beginning, though, I don't know.
Yeah, so this guy with a blank slate is like, Haeyeon. Yeah. I think that's a good indication that she.
Like, I don't know if all the other guys are affected by not like having seen Na-yeon first, you know.
Yeah, and probably seeing her cry for however many days too has also like not been great for her image there too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we never got to see the Haeyeon versus Na-yeon day one rivalry.
No, we just got to see their awkward friendship.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I think it's time for texts.
Yeah, and then this was also done weirdly where like everybody is getting text from production, but at first I was like, wait, are only some people getting text? But then like they're all getting text, and then everybody's like responding with an essay. It seemed like.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, is this the normal thing? And then it just ends up being the normal text thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, because we never get the like translation of the text that they all get, other than like it's day one on Jeju Island.
Yeah. And we don't need it, but it was like the first time they did do it, so I was confused.
Yeah.
All right, let's get through these texts.
All right, so first up we've got Na-yeon, who's got her first text is, maybe I am fooled by familiarity. And this is from the dumbass Heui-du.
Yeah, but he said something in their date that I think we got to see for the first time, where he like warned her. Heui-du warned Na-yeon that like, oh, I'm not going to be fooled by you, or something.
Yep.
And then that's when everybody was like, classic Heui-du Na-yeon, because they started like fighting about the comment basically that he made.
Yeah.
So
And then he turned it around in this text and was like,
yeah,
oh
this is
well.
actually, but this text is actually like a good text, right? Like,
In
I mean,
that,
he still sucks, but like, this is another moment where Na-eon's like, oh, he's so great. He was nice to me
yeah,
for one text.
but I hate it.
Oh yeah, I hate it, but yeah. But Na-eon gets a second text too.
No more lies, okay? And that's from Guman.
And she actually
Because,
gets a text that says this message was sent by Guman. So this is
yes.
the first. They're not being secretive about who's sending you the text,
Yeah.
though, which I also like.
Yes.
At
And
this
then
point in the
it doesn't happen
show,
in this circumstance, but if her ex had not texted her, she would have gotten a text saying who her ex had texted.
yeah.
Which
Now,
is
what do you think about
extra
that?
messy information.
What do you think about that? Is that also kind of doing people
That's
dirty?
messy and weird. Yeah, like nobody knows that that's going to happen. And in fact, like Na-eon and Heui-du text each other, so they don't know that that's a thing now. So next time they text somebody, they don't know the repercussions of that.
I think
while
they
other
find
people
out.
do.
They do find out, but they didn't get it at first because other people are like, "Oh my god, the messages have leveled up. They're better now." And they're
Yeah.
like, "What? What do you mean?"
But yeah, that is kind of a shitty thing for production to do. To be like, we're gonna tell everybody now. Like, okay,
yeah,
should have warned them. Whatever.
yeah, it's a little dirty, but I don't hate the concept because some people are a little
Yeah.
too in their heads about like trying to figure out who their ex likes. So I kind of just like that. It's like, hey, this is the person your ex likes. Deal with it.
There should just be like a TV in the house that is just like this person texted this person. Like just let everybody know exactly what the fuck's going on. And then
yeah, like a running.
And then maybe
total.
we could be reasonable.
Like a running, like everybody should be able to see, like, hey, untexted Guman every single time. Like
every single time.
Yeah, that would be too useful though.
Yeah.
Na-eon does think that the fact that Guman still texted her after everything makes Guman cool.
I mean, it's really just he has no one else to text at this point, right?
Yeah, but from her perspective, it's like, yeah, I did this guy pretty dirty, and he still texted me. What a cool guy.
Yeah, yeah.
At least she's acknowledging that it's fair if Guman is upset with me, and yet he's still texting me. Like she's aware of it. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, Heui-du gets one text.
I'm happy to be here with you. Too bad I couldn't sit next to you. Shall we sit together when we leave? And that's from Na-eon.
What is he talking about? Or no, what is Na-eon talking about? Sit next to him?
Like maybe on
like
the flight back when they like currently she's not sitting next to him, I guess. But when they leave, like maybe when they leave the show for good and they fly back to Seoul or whatever, then they sit together. Maybe it's implying, shall we pick each other? I don't know.
Okay. Did they not sit together on the airplane to Jeju? I don't know if we saw that. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't see it, but I assume they did.
Whatever.
I don't know. I thought she meant too bad I couldn't. Well, maybe it is on the plane.
Why am I talking about this? Why am I just?
Because it's a weird text to send.
Why do I even care?
Because the show's gonna keep shoving it at us.
I can't believe I talked about them. Okay. Jeez.
Gets no text.
Lisa gets no text. But but then they
except
do
for
get the text that
who their ex
Wonbin chose Ji-young, and Ji-soo knows that.
Yes.
And then Wonbin also gets no text.
Gets no text.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Ji-young gets one text, right?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Let's go and see the sea. And that's from Wonbin.
See the sea is a funny phrase in English. In English, at least. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah,
it's probably not in Korean, but Korean, it's fun.
Yeah, this message was sent by Wonbin. So Ji-young, yeah, I guess that makes sense. She wasn't expecting to get anything from Heui-du or Tae.
Yeah.
And then she also gets the text that says, your ex chose Na-eon.
Mm-hmm. And then she makes a big deal about how the texts have all been upgraded.
Yeah.
And it's on a different level now. And Heui-du's like, what are you talking about? It's the thing.
Yeah.
Why am I not getting this special text? It's like, because you picked your ex and she picked you. Calm down.
Yeah. And there was also a point with Ji-young at some point. I think it was after the leftovers got back or got to the new house, and only Tae and Na-eon were there. And then Tae and Na-eon were like telling them about their date. basically. And
Yeah.
they were like, they basically acted in the retelling of the date. They basically acted like they did on their date, where they were like teasing each other and they were super cute.
Yeah.
And then I think in Ji-young's confessional, she was just like, "I didn't realize they were so close." like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know why. Like, how did she not know that Tae like was chosen by Na-eon and went on a date? Did she just assume it was like a
Well, she
date?
was all caught up in thinking it was like
Yeah,
Na-eon that
but
he
why did
was
she just
gonna go
totally
with.
ignore this possibility? I don't know.
She gets upset about a thing and latches onto it and is not prepared to accept new information for a while.
Yeah, it just seems crazy to me that she never thought about this at all. I don't know. Maybe she just assumed the date was like a random selection and didn't think it
Mm,
would work out.
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Okay. Heun gets one text.
This is fun. She doesn't normally get text. It's, Heian, I'm in your care tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is from Hyung-kyu.
He says Heun in the text again.
Yep.
He loves the sound of that name. Oh my god. Maybe it looks good when you write it out too.
She also gets the text that Guman picked Na-eon, and she has like, I feel like she has a bigger reaction to getting that text than her own text.
Yeah, she has this
Which I
very
guess is fair.
shocked face, but it's more of a shock that the message was given to her. Like she knew, like she already knew that this was a thing, but like seeing it written down was like shocking and
Yeah.
made her sad, basically.
Yep.
But yeah, she did have more of a reaction to that than anything. How would she, if she didn't get a text though after he picked her? That would have been sus. You know,
Yeah, that would have been weird.
like, oh,
But I
he
don't
must
think
have
she would have
texted
thought
this
about
out.
it much, you know?
Hyung-kyu was allowed to text Na-eon if he wanted to, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, Guman gets one text.
I am so happy to be on Jeju Island with you. I have always wanted to come here with you. That's from Heian. I'm so disappointed in her. She had an opportunity. She could have sent
Wait, but she
Hyung-kyu
actually went on a date with him today.
I guess that's
Like, if there was
true.
ever an appropriate time to text him, today was the day.
All right, you're right, and it wasn't vaguely threatening, so good job. I just really wanted her to text the new guy and be like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait. Let's have fun tomorrow. I'm ready for to move on and be happy."
Yeah, this text was more. Yeah, it was more appropriate, I guess, like you said. So
Yeah.
I don't know. She doesn't want to give up. I don't really get it, but I don't think she's being. I don't know. She's treating this show as like her last chance, and I'm kind of fine with it. You know,
It's fine, but I want better things for her than
Yeah.
human.
I think. Yeah, we'll see how she goes after they have their date. But
Yeah, I definitely hope it turns around after the date.
yeah,
At the very least,
I
have a good enough time to give the obligatory "we went on a date today" text. You know.
to me, it's more of I want Guman not to get Heian's text and see how that goes.
Well, yeah. Also, yes, and then to get the text that's like, "She texted this other guy." Yes,
Yeah.
that is what I want to happen.
That's what we really want. Okay. Na-eon gets one text.
But it's a long one.
Yeah, this was the. I guess I just mostly saw Tae writing the text because he wrote like an essay. I don't even know
Yeah.
I don't even know if the show showed us the entire thing. That's how long it was.
I think they
There
did.
was like a ... at the end. I thought, or maybe I just
No, there was a ... in the translation too. I think
All right, give it to
they
me.
showed us the whole
Give
thing.
it to me. Let's see what it is. All right.
You wouldn't know, but I had the best meal today. It was so nice to share that meal with you. Looking at the sea with you while driving was really nice too. Let's take a convertible next time. If you don't fall asleep, smiley face.
Oh,
This is a good text. Good job, Tae.
I missed like 2 of the sentences when I was watching. What I
Oh, well, dang.
So okay, there was an ending to it.
Yeah, he brought in the little joke they have about her always falling asleep in a car, wants to hang out with her again.
Yeah, I missed the car
reiterated how good
sleeping
of a
thing.
time it was gonna be. Like, yeah.
I missed the car sleeping part because then Na-eon's reaction to this in confessional is like she's probably partially joking, but she's like I don't believe that Tae actually sent this text. Like it's way too serious. Like there weren't enough teasing
There's no
parts.
snark.
But I thought there was like no teasing parts, but there actually was the teasing part at least.
Yeah.
So
But she does seem to also appreciate like that he did like
oh yeah.
put some feeling into this and it was a genuine text, you know, even if jokingly she doesn't believe it's from him.
It's like, yeah, he can be serious. This kind of came up earlier too, like when he talked about his job or something with her.
Yeah.
He flipped the switch into like being serious when he talked about his job or
Yeah.
like his future or something like that. But so she's able to see that, oh, he's joking all the time, but he can be serious when it matters.
Yeah, she's appreciating both sides of his personality, which is good.
Yeah. And then we get Tae's side of the confessional where she has the totally right Na-eon has the totally right read on it, where Tae is saying like, oh yeah, it might not seem like it, but that message held like a lot of weight for me because he didn't say anything all that like crazy, but to him,
he's not
like
one to
being
express
serious,
himself too much.
being serious at all is a big thing for
Yeah.
him, and it's cute to see that Na-eon like can read Tae perfectly. Basically, it's pretty awesome.
I hope this works out and they leave the show together.
Yeah,
I really like them together.
well, Tae is definitely all in on Na-eon, right?
Yeah,
It's just whether or not.
but Na-eon hasn't dated anybody else. Her ex just showed up.
Yeah.
Who
And
the fuck knows?
She hasn't been allowed to date her ex yet, so we really haven't. We really have nothing from them because we didn't even get to see their coffee shop talk or whatever.
Yeah.
So
we don't know how recent it is, how long they were together, how dramatic they are.
Yeah. I have my fingers crossed for this. I don't know. I mean, like, if Na-eon and her ex somehow are like super cute too, though, like, I'm not gonna be mad. But I feel like we have something so good, and I don't want to break it.
Yeah, and plus, like, if they aren't together, we get more happy potential. Because, like, if they pick each other, it's not like Heui-du and Na-eon are magically going to pick each other and we get two couples out of it.
Oh yeah,
we would just get the one, So.
Yeah, and I don't really like Tae and Ji-young either, even though like Ji-young texts. Well, Tae's about to get 3 texts. You want to go through these?
Oh yeah, they do this thing where they're like, oh, who's gonna get the rest of these texts? Is it gonna be Tae or Hyung-kyu? And I just like that Hyung-kyu, he has a confessional where he's like, I didn't want to text Na-eon because I thought she'd be popular and I didn't want to give her another vote. And it's like, oh, this boy's a little bitter. I can't wait to hear about what happened between them. Yeah,
that's how you
he's
took
like,
that.
I don't want to vote for her.
Oh, that's interesting. I took it as like he felt like Na-eon didn't need his text because she must be so popular that she's getting other texts. Like he's not worried about how she's doing on the show. Like he doesn't
I guess that is another way to read it. That
he doesn't feel like he needs to comfort her or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how I read it.
Okay.
But it could be either way.
My snarky version.
I honestly don't know.
But yeah, Tae gets 3 texts. Oh, how the tables have turned. It's an exciting day.
Yeah.
First one is drink some warm water. And that's from Ji-soo.
Yeah, don't know what this is referencing.
I don't know
maybe
either.
They're drinking too much. Is this a drinking thing?
Who knows?
I don't know why
or maybe
it has to
it's
be warm.
Chilly out. It shouldn't be. I don't know.
Okay.
Then we get It's Me, the Insane Girl from Ji-yeon.
Okay, this is a great text, Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta point out the good
She's
ones.
just like, I know it's crazy that I'm texting you, but here I am anyway.
Well, it's okay. So, the insane girl thing is a reference to the coffee date before the show because we finally got to see this moment where Tae sets it up by saying like he says something about like girls like her or like something about her, and then Jung's like, oh, how do you see me or something, and then he pauses, and then he's like, true, like I don't know if he says like truly insane or like he basically calls her insane in the thing, and everybody laughs. Like a lot of them were like kind of sad to watch or like people were crying, but like Tae and Ji-young, their like talk before the show was actually like entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
and funny
definitely.
and made people laugh. I think ultimately like Tae and Ji-young are maybe the best casted couple on the show to me because like they're like I don't know, I like their personalities better.
Yeah.
Whereas like all the other couples kind of feel I haven't met Hyung-kyu yet or whatever, but everybody else, at least like one of them feels like, yeah, I don't want this person. I don't really want to watch this person. Or I guess Ji-soo and Wonbin aren't that bad, but they're not particularly like
they're not doing well on the show.
They're good
so
people, but they're not. Yeah, they're not doing that well on the show, and they're not super funny. Like Wonbin had some funny segments in the beginning for himself with the plants and stuff like that, but they're fine. Like Ji-soo and Wonbin are fine, but I think Tae and Ji-young actually are ending up being the best so far. Actually,
Yeah.
And I've said in the past, like, I don't know why Tae's on the show, but when I feel like he kind of got lucky that they found somebody that actually understand, like, can get along with
Yeah,
him. Actually,
absolutely.
otherwise, if they did find somebody that could get along with him, he might be a total dud. But
Yeah.
it's working out.
I hope it keeps working out.
Yeah. And then, okay,
Speaking of,
what's his third? Who texted him the third message?
it says, "I am so sorry for not knowing that you are serious about food." We get a slightly different translation of that later, where it's like where he says it's about how he eats a lot or something. But
I think Tae just
regardless,
simplified the text.
Yeah.
When he reenacted.
But then it continues. "I had so much fun today. We became quite close," and that's from Nan.
Yes.
So things are looking good.
And I think Tae has the right perspective on this. Like, Tae is so happy when he, because the way production, like, I feel like sometimes they'll text somebody like one of text, and then like 5 minutes later they'll get the second text that they actually have. Two. But this time, like, Tae, like, they just sent it to Tae all at once, and because they were like, there's multiple messages now, he got like 6 messages on his phone all at once. So he just gets so happy.
And also, I think like they waited a while before they sent it to him too, because they have some shots of him just like looking at his phone, looking at everybody else, being real antsy. Like, did she text her ex? What's going on?
Yeah,
and then just bing, 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 bing.
They did him last. They did him last,
excited.
And he was, because everybody was like so excited about the messages leveling up, and they were being secretive, like they weren't telling people until they got their text, like what they were talking about. So he was like, "What's happening?" He was, yeah. But he's so happy when he gets all these texts. But maybe the happiest moment of his life, actually. But
no, that was earlier today when he was actually
I don't know.
Happy on a date.
Could be better. Who knows? But he actually has the right perspective on this, or it doesn't have to be right, but I like that we get to see his perspective, where he tells us, like, I really, like, all it would have taken for me to be happy is just to get Na-eon's text. Like, it didn't, the fact that Ji-soo and Ji-young texted him, like, wasn't actually a big deal, which is like, it's the right read. Like, he kind of, after he'd had the extra room with Ji-young, like, we get the sense that Tae is
he's
not interested.
Done with her.
Like, yeah. And I don't know why Ji-soo and Tae never really did anything. I don't know. It could just be they're not like super excited about each other, but I don't know. Ji-soo's kind of like, I don't know what you're supposed to do as Ji-soo on this show right now. So she chose Tae, but what does it really mean?
Yeah, I feel like that's just like her leftover buddy, you know? Like, I don't think, like, we've seen them hang out before, but I guess it was probably just like didn't have that spark.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you know, I guess she could have, if she's a little, maybe I'm misremembering it, she was a little buddy with Heui-du, she could just be like, "Yo, what's up? I need somebody to text. How you doing?"
Now that I think about it, why did she not text the new guy?
That's true. She should have.
She definitely should have. What the hell?
She's been like, "Welcome to the house. What's up?"
Yeah, maybe that's an indication she actually does kind of like Tae. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I feel like, like if she was really checked out of the show, unless she's so checked out
she doesn't want to start anything.
Yeah. And then she thought maybe Tae was like the most locked in. I don't know. Like, she could have texted, I guess, like, she can't text Wonbin, and she probably is like too embarrassed to text Yumin again.
Yeah.
And then Heui-du sucks, so I get it. So I guess Tae would maybe be the choice if she's didn't want to start anything up with the new guy, but she had to text somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, it feels like she should have texted the new guy. She seemed to be impressed by the new guy, but I don't know. We'll see.
Just momentarily wowed by his face, but not enough to deal with that shit right now.
Yeah. And then we also, in Tae's confessional, he says, like, he feels bad for Ji-young because she's his ex, but he's basically definitely picking Na-eon in the end. Like, he basically tells us where he's at. And I believe him. Like, I don't see how he's going to change. I don't think Ji-young can do anything to change his mind. I mean,
absolutely.
Like, even if there's a fallout with Na-eon because of Na-eon's ex or whatever, I still don't think he'd turn around and pick her, picking Ji-young.
Yeah, after that X room like conversation they had, it just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was really down on Ji-young after that too. Like, I would not have been happy if I was Tae in that situation either.
Yeah.
And then Hyung-kyu gets 0 texts. but
Yep.
no, he does know that Tae or his ex Na-eon chose Tae, so he gets that
Yes.
information right away. Why didn't
So if
my
he's
ex
gonna have
text
beef
me?
with anyone,
And then he
he knows who
proceeds
to
to
have beef
stare
with.
at Tae, and Tae stares back, and they have a
No.
rivalry stare
What he
down.
does is he calls Heui-du over to drink with him.
Oh
He's
yeah, that's
like,
right.
let's
Yeah,
go.
because they like they kind of moved over back to his side of the couch, but there was still like pretty much two open seats next to Hyung-kyu. Like,
Yeah.
and then at some point he was just like invited Haeun to sit next to him, and then Haeun gave up her seat right next to Gyumin to go sit next to
Yeah.
Hyung-kyu. It would have been really awkward to reject his.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to
It's
sit next to
probably
me?
her just being polite, but
Yeah,
still, I have hope that this will turn into a thing.
yeah. There's some intrigue. I am interested to see the show now that it's in the state that I've wanted it to be in the entire time. Like I've wanted the Exes to be revealed for so long.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like this wrinkle of everybody knowing who's texting everybody. That is actually something we don't usually get to see on these shows. So this show might become healthy outside of Heui-du and Na-yeon. Like everybody.
I mean, I don't know that I'll go that far, but we might have some good stuff happen.
Well, the show has messed everything up so bad that it may not be able to recover, but you know,
anything's an improvement.
I don't think we're gonna get worse because of more information being available.
Oh, I hope not.
Hope. All right, preview for next time.
Yeah, first we have Heui-du is still fucking arguing with Na-yeon about that fucking side hug.
No, we don't need to talk about that.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, we don't need to talk.
We're gonna have to talk about it. I think we're gonna have to talk about it.
No, I refuse.
Okay,
I told you.
I will talk to the listeners about it. Heui-du is still fucking arguing with Na-yeon about that fucking side hug.
I'll get up and walk away. You can just text me when you're done talking about it.
Me and the listeners will have a good time being miserable about
a good time being miserable.
Jackass.
Yes, good.
We're gonna commiserate over how much of an asshole he is, and we don't like him.
Oh,
we'll talk shit about him. Sometimes that's fun.
Okay. Well, you text me when you guys are done talking about that.
I'm gonna have to mention him one more time in these previews, though, because it looks like he and Ji-yeon are you're getting along again, at least. So,
well, they're gonna at least go on a date, but it does seem like Heui-du might be upset. I'm speculating. This wasn't actually said in the preview, but I'm speculating that Heui-du might be upset that Ji-yeon didn't text him because he knows Ji-yeon was on the leftover group. Well, he probably knew that anyway. But he's like, what? I feel like he's gonna be like, why didn't you text me? Like, I don't get it. And then she'll be like, well, you didn't choose me. And he'll be like, yeah, but that's like not a big deal. Why are you getting so emotional? Like, just text me. Like, do you not like me anymore? Like,
and I hope that she does not fall for that shit. Well, and it's like, oh, wait, you're an asshole. Okay, goodbye.
Well, then we cut to in the preview of Tae and Na-eon are going to go on a surfing date.
Yes.
But in the actual ocean this time. But
then. I think it's a double date?
Yeah. Then they cut to the beach where, it's like, it looks like it's at least a double date. And I'm pretty sure it's Ji-young and Heui-du go with them.
Oh no. Awful. Not what I wanted
like
at all.
It looked like them, and they're like the water sports people. Like, they had a date like that in the past. But then they show the group of them together on the beach. They all look so cool too. I'm actually excited because like they're all like they have their like surfing like wetsuits or whatever, but they like after they're done surfing they're like all like standing in a circle on the beach, but they all like took like the top half of their wetsuit off,
Yep.
So it's like you actually get to see some like Singles Inferno content on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, but then Tae says that in a confessional that Tae wishes that he was alone with Na-eon, if you know what he's saying.
Yeah. And then to finish out the previews, Na-eon is still sad. So there you go.
Sad about Gyumin, So that's not a good sign.
Nope. But maybe it's her last bit of sad. She just has to get it out. And then it's going to all turn around with this new guy. I'm going to keep hoping against hope, even though it's unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm skeptical. Just because, it's it's not a good bet to bet on the
It
young
is
guy on the
not.
season. It is just not.
Well, I just think it's probably not good to bet against
Oh, well,
Taeyeon
hand
still
too,
being
but
obsessed with Human.
it's an overlap of unlikely scenarios based on the
You
history of
know
these
what?
shows.
I'm gonna approach this like Na-eon getting back together with Heui-du for the 50th time with just blind determination and trying to fool myself that it's gonna work out. That's how I'm gonna approach it. Just gonna pretend that this is fine.
Yeah. I mean, blind determination is a very common storyline on these shows. Yeah, but I'm excited to see some of this stuff going forward.
Yeah,
I
should be
don't
good.
think I need to watch. I don't need 3-hour episodes of this. I don't.
Yeah, I hope that's not
I
how we're
can't
finishing
believe
out this season.
this recording is at like 2 hours and 45 minutes right now, which I'm shocked. I thought we
It'll
would.
condense.
I thought there was
But
so
yeah.
little in this 3-hour episode that we wouldn't be able to talk. But it was 3 hours, and usually we talk longer than the length of the shows.
Episode,
So,
yeah. This time, hey, it's more efficient to listen to us talk about it than to watch it.
yeah.
Go us.
Once we edit it down, it'll be less, and then yeah. But all right. And then next time we'll be talking about Transit Love 2 episode 16. We're just gonna be
just keep doing this.
I think we're just gonna finish out Transit Love 2 until we're done. And I think there's 20 episodes. Now I haven't checked. Maybe somebody can let us know.
If it's a reunion episode,
is the 20th episode a reunion? I don't know. So the listeners can. I know somebody from out there will let us know that.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to get spoiled by accident by looking it up or anything. But
yeah.
So we're pretty close. Like
we're gonna get there.
I guess it's like 5 weeks, but if it is episode 20, it's 5 weeks. But yeah, we'll get there. And then we'll think about doing something about the After Signal series for the Heart Signal 4 content. I think that'll be fun. It won't be our normal 4-bet, but I think it'll be fun.
And then hopefully we'll know by then when Singles Inferno 3 is gonna start, so we can plan some stuff.
Yeah. Some people have sent in some suggestions for the gap between when we finish Transit Love 2 and now After Signal, and then whenever Singles Inferno starts. But yeah, keep sending us shows that you think you might want us to watch, and more likely than not, it'll be like we'll watch the first couple episodes and talk about it, and then decide if we want to keep watching it. We're not going to go through. I don't think we have time to go through a whole season.
Yeah.
Unless we really like it, and then we both binge it, and then we can like talk about the whole show. But unlikely that we will have enough time to do that, but we'll see.
Yeah. Not if they're 3-hour episodes.
Yeah. All right. Where can people contact us?
People can email us at keepwatchingpod@gmail.com, tweet at us at keepwatchingpod, Instagram at us at keepwatchingpod, leave a comment under the video on YouTube also at keepwatchingpod. And if you want to tell us what couple gift you would buy for an ex when you awkwardly were forced to buy them a gift when you go on a date with them, you can leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Okay. What I want to know is, would people wait? What was the question? What was the question I asked you? Would you rather be loved with words or with gifts?
Oh, there we go.
That's the one I want to know. I think we can learn about our listeners with that question.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let us know. Words or gifts.
Yeah.
We only have lots and lots of words to offer right now, but there you go.
I understand it's not a black or white question. Like, I guess ideally you would get both, but which one is more meaningful to you?
Yes.
We're not going to be super judgy, but even though I said we both like words better, but I'm not judging people if they like gift more.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the people that like gifts also appreciate words, but they're into gifts,
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.